What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. I don't even know what to say. We just witnessed just amazing play by Damian Lillard once again, dropping 61 points. I'm kind of speechless right now. Right before I went live, I told Eric, I don't know what I'm going to say in this intro. Like, you cannot summarize how good Damian Lillard is. Like, that dude is just absolutely insane right now. 61 points tonight, a game after dropping 51 points. It's just, what this guy's doing right now is absolutely amazing. He just single-handedly saved our season. And it wasn't just that, just like some of the stuff that happened down the stretch was insane. That bounce that Dame had on that three, I think on the last three he hit, was one of the most insane bounces I've ever seen, and that saved our season. Because we lose this game, we're not making the playoffs. This was a must-win game. This was like a game 7 to get, to keep us alive, basically. That bounce was absolutely insane, man. I don't even know. Like, I'm still collecting my thoughts. I'm super hyped. I feel like my face is super red. I went through every emotion in this game, from frustration to excitement to disappointment to resignation. You know, I thought, oh, well, this is how it ends. And then Damian Lillard just, oh my goodness, man. That hyped me up. And of course, down the stretch, it took two big defensive plays from Gary Trent Jr. and Damian Lillard drawing offensive fouls on the Mavericks. It was always going to come down to, we still got to get a stop even with Dame going off like this. And we got a couple that when it counted. Of course, who caps it off? Damian Lillard. Because that three went in. That last play of the game that Dallas had on offense, that three, or the second to last play they had, where Dame drew the offensive foul, that three went in. That was a wide open three for a good shooter in Trey Burke. And Dame drew the offensive foul, man. Like, that was beautiful. I don't even know. Eric, talk for me, man, because I'm still trying to like collect my whole entire brain right now.
All right, so gotta talk about Dame, but first I just want to mention before I get into Damian Lillard that Melo was fantastic in this game.
Yes,
he continued hitting big shots. He actually played respectable defense in this game, and he has been great, and without him going along with Dame tonight, we lose this game because other than maybe Trent and Collins in the first quarter, Collins had a good quarter, and we'll talk about that later. But other than that, it was pretty much just Dame and Melo carrying us. So I gotta mention that that Melo helped us here in this game.
Yeah, I'll read off his stat line if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
26 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals from Melo, shooting 10 for 17 from the field, 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. This was Melo's best game in a Blazer uniform, and it wasn't just because of what he did offensively. He played within the flow of the offense, hit shots, made clutch shots. He also played maybe his best offensive game of the entire season. He had active hands. He moved his feet, just so bought in and energetic on that end. The weight loss is definitely helping him do that, but like some of the plays he had a huge play in the first half where he picked Luka Doncic's pocket and hit a head pass to Gary Trent Jr. for a dunk. Those types of plays help build momentum, and without that 10-point lead that we built in the first half, we end up losing this game. You know, we needed every point we could get. So those types of plays, man, I love to see it. Carmelo played great today. I know some people call me the Melo hater. This is what I want to see from him. I want to see him bought in defensively, playing with energy like tonight, attacking the rim when he's posted up against the smaller guard, which he did, and just knocking down shots. This is more of like what I want. This is what I'm asking for. Carmelo can put in these games for us. He still has the talent to put in these types of games for us. And the reason why I am a bit hard on Melo from time to time is because he can have games like this if he doesn't just settle for a bunch of bad mid-range shots, if he attacks the rim, if he shoots threes, if he gets bought in defensively. I've noticed he shoots better. So this is exactly what I wanted from Carmelo. I am thrilled with his performance because nobody else played all that well. Gary Trent Jr. played well off the bench on both sides, but he was only 1 for 6 from 3, and other than that, nobody else showed up other than Damian Lillard. So we needed that second guy, and that was Carmelo.
Yeah, I will say, to our credit too, we are not Melo haters. We just think Melo is better at the 4, and Melo played mostly the 4 after the start of this game. We played mostly with just one big in the lineup when Melo was in there, and Melo was in the 4. We even started the second half with a different lineup, which we'll get to. But that's all we were asking, is that Melo plays his more natural position of the 4. And it wasn't a knock on him as the starting lineup. We just felt like that he's better in that position.
Yep.
And I think that's showing.
I got to give a couple shout-outs real quick. Shout out to Beavis and Butthead for the $5 donation. He left a message for chat. He says I'm speaking to chat, so I'm not going to read the message. If he wants me to, I can, though. It was all about being positive.
Be positive.
Be positive. I mean, after this game, the issues that hurt us throughout this game, we've talked about the last 3 post-game shows. So going into this, I told Eric, I'm hyped right now. I'm feeling good. Despite all the things that made this game tough, I'm feeling good, so I'm going to reflect that.
He says read it, and it was he donated, so.
Yeah, I got you. He says, no negative talk. Appreciate the beauty of NBA basketball and Blazers putting their hearts on the floor. I'm speaking to chat. I love the beauty of Damian Lillard, man. That dude is insane. Shout out to Near012 for the $5 donation. He says, I love how the defense turned up when our offense started to fail, other than Dame, of course. I mean, yeah, we turned up the defense in the last 2 minutes, Like, part of me, it's hard not to think, like, why could we have done that earlier? But at least we did it when it mattered, because without those defensive stops, we end up losing this game. We needed a couple clutch defensive stops, and we got it. And it was from our guards. It was from Gary Trent Jr. and Damian Lillard. Gary Trent Jr. gets switched on to Porzingis, draws the foul, fouls Porzingis out of the game, who is killing us offensively. So if this game went into overtime, that would have been a huge play with them not having Porzingis. And then Dame on that last or second to last play of the game where he drew that foul.
Yeah, all I'm going to say about that is that's just 2 people making plays. That our scheme was terrible. We had Porzingis sealed Trent under the basket, and Trent makes a play. Porzingis gets a little too aggressive trying to seal him. But if he doesn't overreact and foul him there, he's got an easy lay-in, basically. And then the other one, like you said, open 3 if Dame doesn't crash hard.
Man, I said let's be positive, man. We will talk about this.
I'm just saying, like, it's crazy that it came down to 2 plays like that. It wasn't necessarily that we got stops. Those were both like on offensive rebounds, I think, too, which is crazy. Yeah. But my man Damian Lillard continues to obliterate Skip Bayless. And
God, man.
I think he even said F Skip Bayless at the end of that game. When
Did he?
I don't know.
I don't think Skip Bayless would have on his mind. Who is he looking towards? It's an empty arena. Like, it feels that's the type of stuff he does in full arenas where he's like looking towards the fans, right? We saw it after his buzzer beater against OKC last year. This game, was he looking at an empty seat, pretending somebody was in it and just getting hot? Like, what was he looking at? Even Lamar Hurd was wondering, is there somebody over there? Like, who is he looking at? So
I was looking for the camera. That's what Beavis and Butthead says.
I couldn't find the camera. I wish he found the camera.
There's got to be like 15 cameras in there, so it's got to be hard.
Maybe TNT had the right camera on and Dame was looking in the camera. I don't know.
Dude, with how hard it is to get like your normal form shooting to the hoop from that deep, how do you get that bounce? I don't understand. Because you have to like shoot it harder than normal to get it. Because he had shot one a minute or 2 earlier from about the same spot, and it was a little short. And so you could tell he tried to put a little extra on that one. And I don't understand how he got that bounce. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, make sure it's straight and get it there and see what happens. That's what that shot was like. And, dude, that ball went probably at least another 10 feet above the rim. That ball, after the bounce, probably went twice the height of the rim, dude. I don't know if I've ever seen a bounce that high that went in. Like, and when it bounced up, I knew it still had a chance. Like, just when I saw the bounce, I'm like, this might go in. Like... and it did.
Touch, right?
So, I
That's
mean,
what they always say.
Damian Lillard, 61 points tonight, 8 assists as well, 5 rebounds, shot 17 for 32 from the field, 9 for 17 from 3, 18 for 18 from the free throw line. 18 for 18, right? He was getting clowned for missing those 2 free throws. Blazer fans were way too hard on him for missing those 2 free throws because normally he's a lights-out free throw shooter. Look at him tonight. 61 points, 18 for 18 from the free throw line, puts the team on his back in a game that probably, honestly, should not have been this close. Dallas wasn't playing for anything. We were playing for our lives, and Dame guts one out. Shuts up all the people that have been hating on him. He scores 61 points. And let me just say this. If he gets like the foul calls that he's been getting the past couple games, he could be like at least a like 33, 34 point per game scorer. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's the only thing separating him and James Harden is Harden just gets a lot more calls. That's the only thing separating him and James Harden. Harden gets a lot more calls, gets to the free throw line more. Dame, the past 2 games, has, I'll say this. Part of his development that's underrated is the fact that he's getting better and better at drawing fouls and getting to the line. And with how good of a free throw shooter he is, like, that is a great result of a possession if you have Damian Lillard at the free throw line. And it helps him have outbursts like this. It helped him get 51 last game and 61 tonight.
Man, credit to CJ for having a terrible game but still hitting down those free throws at the end. But I so wanted Dame to get the ball there to break the franchise record.
I know, to drop 63.
I really wanted to, but I'm happy we got the win, so that's just a secondary
thing.
Hey,
maybe Dame misses one.
Yeah.
He was so perfect all game, But, hey, we got to give credit to CJ for those free throws, right? Here's the thing. The people that were hating on Dame for missing those 2 free throws, and just constantly bashing Dame for it a couple games ago against the Clippers, they need to be singing CJ McCollum's praises because CJ McCollum struggled all game. And the thing is, CJ McCollum hasn't been a good clutch free throw shooter throughout his career. And CJ steps to the line in a must-win scenario, only up 1 with 4 seconds left, and calmly knocks down both free throws. I love to see that. I'm not going to lie, I was nervous when CJ got fouled or got put to the line because he has kind of struggled in those situations, but he hit 2 clutch free throws. It would have been a lot easier for Dallas if they only had to go for 2 or maybe 3 for the win. It would have been a lot harder for us to defend, but Dallas had to go for 3 because CJ stepped up in the clutch, and after struggling all game, helped out his boy Dame with those 2 clutch free throws.
Yeah, I was so nervous when he went to the line, but credit to him, man. He knocked them both down. And that's pretty much the ball game. They didn't get a great look. Anytime you're fading away in the corner, that's a tough shot. But we held them what it mattered.
You know what's funny is that last shot that Dallas got kind of reminded me of the shot that Philadelphia hit to beat us, running towards the corner like that. That's a good setup. Because even if you switch, that's hard to defend. But we did a better job of making that shot tough. And
the difference was Korkmaz got set before he shot it, whereas Hardaway didn't have enough time to get set. He just kind of had to throw it up.
I got to give props real quick. So I've been critical of Terry Stotts with his last second defensive lineups and some of the stuff they've done, not switching when they should. On the last possession of a game like that, you put in a versatile lineup and you switch everything because they don't really have time to exploit a mismatch if there is one. So before that last possession, that last defensive possession, I said lineup needs to be Dame, CJ, Trent, Mario, and Melo, and then they need to switch everything. And that's exactly what Stotts did. So I guess I got to give Stotts props. I thought that was the obvious thing you do there, and Stotts did it, and I was happy. When I saw that lineup out on the court, I'm like, okay, thank you, because the last thing I wanted was Hassan to be out there and for him to not get through a screen because he's so slow and then them have an open 3 because they had 5 shooters out there. So Hassan was going to have to guard the 3-point line if he was out there. And in the past, Stotts has done that kind of stuff. So I was happy that he put out a versatile lineup. They switched everything. That was the perfect thing to do in that situation, and it got the stop.
They showed that huddle during the timeout, and I was just like, please keep us on the bench. Please keep us on the bench. There's no reason to have a big guy in the game right now. There's no reason to. Please put 5 defenders out of there. And we've seen that back even when, we had great defenders both off the bench and in our starting lineup where we still play our starting 5 or whatever, even if we'll put Dame and CJ out there in the last possession, even if we have guys like Wesley Matthews or, Harkless and good defenders on our bench. It was great to see him actually do that today. Yep.
We were just talking about Hassan. I got to touch on Hassan Whiteside. He was 3 for 3 from the field, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, an assist, and a steal in 19 minutes tonight. This is the Hassan Whiteside we need off the bench. This is the type of production we need if Nurkic gets into foul trouble. Nurkic fouled out. We need Hassan engaged as a backup center. If he's engaged and into the game like this, like he was tonight as the backup center, he is a top 3 backup center in the league. The only person I definitely put ahead of him is Montrezl Harrell, who's better than Zubac. They just do that because it fits their lineups better. If you had a backup center like Hassan Whiteside, who's actually the second best center on the team, it's not some fluky thing where he's better than the starting center, right? You got Nurkic and then you have Whiteside coming off the bench engaged. I still really like that going into next year. The question has been, is Hassan going to be engaged off the bench? And the past couple games that Hassan played, he was seemed a little lackadaisical and low on energy and was making a lot of bad mistakes. Didn't really seem engaged. And then he had 2 games that he sat out due to injury, right? So it was oh, well, this isn't going to work. But then today, even before he checked in at first, he was engaged on the bench, celebrating, doing all that. He comes in and plays hard. He comes in and makes a real difference in this game. Without Hassan Whiteside, we lose this game. We're out of the playoffs, basically. Hassan Whiteside had numerous offensive rebounds. He had 3 offensive rebounds, and all of them were, I think, in the second half, because there was a stretch there where he was really crashing the glass and giving Dallas some trouble, because Dallas played with Porzingis and Kleba. Neither of them are guys that really bang down low, and neither of them are great rebounders. So Hassan crashed the boards hard, had a couple good defensive plays, 2 blocks. Like, he was a plus 15, second best on the team. Obviously, plus minus gets messy when you're just looking at one individual player, but he came in and made a huge impact. He played better than Nurkic tonight. You know what I mean? Like, Nurkic has kind of struggled the past couple of games. We'll talk about that. But Hassan came in and played huge, and it's exactly what we needed. So I have to give him props for that.
Yeah, so he had that key dunk down the stretch, too. And that's one thing Hassan is better at is finishing around the rim than Nurk. Overall, I mean, aside from Nurk's struggling with some of the gimme shots, Hassan is not as good as Nurk is, but you see that just having that little dump pass to him, and you know he's going to finish those shots in those situations, so that's the key to have. The only bad thing about him is he cost us. Kleber hit a 3 in the corner when he just completely left him alone. Yeah. But that happens with all the Blazers.
Yeah, the whole defense was bad tonight, so I'm not going to single out Hassan.
Yeah. It's hard to single out one person for that, but our defense as a whole has to get better at that.
It has to improve,
but Hassan, thankfully he was back for this game, because I don't know what was up with Nurk, but like, he just was not into this game today, and we needed someone to be off the bench.
We'll touch on that later. I do want to talk about that play where Dame drove and had that dump-off pass to Hassan. That was such a smart play by Dame, because he was so hot from 3. He could have easily set up a deep 3, a step back, and he might have hit it, too, with how hot he was, but they were playing up on him so hard. Dame knew he could get an easy pass. He knew he could either get to the rim himself, and if they took that away, could get a drop-off to Hassan. So that play by Dame was just smart. Earlier in his career, I think he might have shot a 3 there and might have missed, like forced a 3. But now he's that type of guy that doesn't just get too sucked into the heat check. He still shoots some heat checks, and he does make quite a lot of them, but he doesn't get too caught up in just like, oh, I'm going to do another one from 35 feet. No, he made the smart play. The winning play was to drive past the guy who is pressing up on him 30 feet away from the rim and drop it off to your 7-foot big for a wide open dunk. And that play was crucial. We don't win without, if Dame shoots a step back 3 there and misses, we might lose. So I got to give, Dame had 61, right? And that's what everybody will notice. But, there's certain things that he has in these high-scoring games that are just, that I noticed that are more impressive. That type of play, I know it seems simple to some people, but that's impressive, because he might have had a 60-point game earlier this season, and in that game, he might have forced that shot. But instead, I think he keeps getting smarter and smarter, and just still makes the right play no matter how hot he is. So I just gotta give Dame props on that, because that was just, it was the best shot we had all game, other than maybe Gary Trent's dunk. That was phenomenal shot to get in a clutch situation like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Destrom says that play wasn't more impressive than 61 points. That's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying at all, man. That's not what I'm saying. There's just, he has high-scoring games. This is his 11th 50-point game of his career. But if you go back and watch all his 50-point games, there's a bunch of little stuff that he improves on. He's been able to get hot for, throughout his whole entire career. But now he's just getting smarter and smarter and smarter, where he has these big scoring nights, but still will make the right play and make the right pass instead of just doing everything on his own. So,
and yeah, there's I have to give Stotts credit for this too. There was a point in the game where we're really struggling, and they still ran pick and roll out of the timeout. They didn't set up a special play, but it was designed to get Melo a pop for a 3. And I thought that was a real key in the game to get Melo going. And you saw after that, I don't think he missed a shot in the game after making that open 3. And but Dame recognizes that he's got to get someone else going. He can't score 80 points all by himself. So he needed a a guy by his side to help him, and that's another key thing. So, like, Dame made a perfect pass to Melo. Melo's open, and Melo's been hitting that shot all bubble. And but yeah, I like to see that evolution. And like I talked about, Whiteside, that's probably his biggest strength on offense is his ability to finish around the hoop. He is great. He is a great finisher. He shot over 60% from the field this year. So like, he's definitely a trustworthy option to dump it to in the paint in those late game situations.
Yep. And Al-Farouq Aminu 4-3 says he could have broke his record, but like Tori said, he made the smart play. Yeah, that's another part of it, is he could have gotten 64, if he was caught up and like, oh, I could break my career record, but Dame's just making the winning play. Some other guys would have forced that. James Harden probably would have shot that. Might have had his career record on his mind. Dame's not that type of guy. He's not in it for the stats and stuff, especially like a game like this. We had to get this win. We're in 8th, bro. We are in 8th.
We are the 8th seed.
We are in 8th.
All we have to beat is the stupid Brooklyn Nets.
And we're 8th.
We are the 8th seed. That's all we have to do.
So, bro, like... This game, like, if we lost, we would have missed the playoffs, right? Because we would have had to have, like, 2 of Memphis, Phoenix, and San Antonio lose their last game. I don't think Phoenix and San Antonio are losing their last game. Those 2 teams are playing well right now, and probably playing against teams that are resting. So that was huge for us to win this game, because we would have been 11th instead of 8th. Like, that was the difference in this game. Memphis, San Antonio, and Phoenix are all tied right now. We would have been a half game behind them. Instead, we're a half game ahead. We would have went into Brooklyn looking at, like, if we could win, and it probably won't matter because we need so much help on the scoreboard. We need 2 of 3 games to go our way.
Yeah, we would have needed to win and had 2 of those 3 teams lose. Otherwise, we would have been out of the playoffs.
Now, all we have to do is win.
All we have to do is win.
All we have to do is win.
Or lose and have all 3 other teams lose, which isn't going to happen. So we just have
2 of the 3. Yeah. It's Brooklyn. They're not playing for anything, right? If we like, I'm not gonna focus on the Nets right now. I'm gonna enjoy this win, right? But like, the Nets have actually been playing well. They're 5-2 in the bubble. They are 5-2 now. Today they played against Orlando, who was resting guys, and they played against Milwaukee, who was only played like their starters 15 minutes. So it's not like they're just beating a bunch of good teams that are actually trying to win. But the Nets still have played well. Karis LeVert has played well. Garrett Temple has played well. Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot has played well. So we will preview this game at the end of the stream, but the Nets aren't like a walkover, but they might rest guys because this game is the last game and they're playing for anything. Yeah. They're locked in. So we should take care of business.
Crap out of the Magic today.
Yeah. I mean, I took up picks against the spread. Good pick for me. Did we? Good pick for all of us. Was trying to brag a little bit, and I don't even remember what you guys picked. But
you do say TLC's name nicely.
Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot.
Yeah.
I love saying that name, man.
Too bad Ash isn't in here. He'd be loving you. Right?
Oh, I know, because he's a Luwawu-Cabarrot fanboy. He's the only guy on that bandwagon. Now it maybe has 5 guys on it now, but yeah. So anyway, I just
want to say,
yep.
I hope this never happens. But when are people going to learn not to piss Dame off? Don't talk shit to that man. Don't talk crap to him. Like, thank you, Clippers.
Yeah, because, dude, 56 points per game his last 2 games since that Clippers game.
And we needed every point of it, basically, in the last 2 games to beat these 2 teams, which we should have won. Yeah, but thank you, and thanks, Skip, whatever. Keep talking crap on your show, but I love it.
Question, is Dame in the running for bubble MVP? Because it was announced today that the NBA will give out awards just based on play in the bubble during these 8 games. I think Dame might have to be the front runner for bubble MVP right now.
Yeah, I think he is too after this game, especially.
Yeah. And that was with him struggling early in the bubble, I felt like.
Going into this game, 7-0 for Booker, I would say it was his award to lose. I think he'll still get some or a lot of credit if they go 8-0 versus us going 6-2. Especially if they make the play-in game after being so far behind all those teams.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue with that. TJ Warren's also had some fantastic games. He had kind of a dud yesterday, but like you said, Dame's had a mediocre, I wouldn't say bad game, but he hasn't had a great game every single game. But overall, it's hard to argue with what he's doing and carrying this franchise on his back.
Yeah. So Dude, chat's popping off. This stream is absolutely popping off. I knew that was going to happen. I was so hyped for the stream, man. It's crazy how, like, just one bounce of the ball changes the whole mood of this stream, man.
Yeah.
And just the mood of Blazers fans just hinging on that one bounce, man. Sports are crazy like that. Sorry if I missed your questions, but there's too much going on in chat right now for me to, like, pick out a singular question.
Wait. CJ has a fracture in his lower back, Dwight James.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can you play through it?
I don't know.
Well, let me look at this. So
that's dang. That's depressing. We're in a good mood. Shout out to Ads for the $5 donation. He says Dame is legend. Switching our centers onto Luka out on the perimeter really helped out the Mavs. Still, we're 8th seed.
CJ's had this since Thursday. He played through that today. So he's playing through it. That probably explains why he struggled so bad. Because he was leaving shots super short. Like, he'll struggle, but a lot of times it won't be like him just missing short. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. So Thursday, what's today? Today is Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
So is that 2 games in a row that he's played? I'm going to read the article.
3 games in 4 days on it. Well, it depends, because we played Thursday, so it depends on if he was hurt going into the game or if he got hurt during the game or what. But
yeah, he has played 3 games since his injury. For anybody who's medical out there, he has been playing with an L3 vertebral transverse process fracture, non-displaced. That's what they call it, so I don't even know what that is. Maybe somebody knows exactly what that is. But yeah, so the last 3 games he's played without. So it's not, I assume at this point, like, it's not like we're going to be missing CJ. So, but he did definitely struggle tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Shout out to Ads for $5 dono. He said, Dame is a legend. Switching our centers onto Luka out on the perimeter really helped out the Mavs. Still, we're the 8th seed. And yeah, we will have to get to that. I want to milk all the positivity out of this as we can get right now, because this is the best, stream we've had since probably the trade deadline. So shout out to all you guys watching and tuning in for us, man. We can't single out any questions, so if you leave a dono, we will read off your message and we will answer your question if it's in a dono, just because then that way we can single them out.
I know, mixed bag, but I wasn't going to interrupt.
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'd already read that donation.
Did you? Oh, I was looking up the CJ thing. All right, my bad. Okay, that's what you're reading.
We're just teasing.
Hey, it wasn't like I ignored Eric for no reason. I was looking up the CJ injury for you guys. So that's the best excuse I've ever had to ignore Eric. I had to thank you myself, Ads. So, yeah. So
go late to the stream. We already talked about Hassan.
Yeah, we've talked about Hassan, man. Let's talk about Gary Trent Jr. We haven't really touched on him. He played phenomenal defense tonight. On one of our previous streams over on our second channel, if you're not subscribed to our second channel, there's a link down in the info box below. We stream on a second channel 3 times a week, going over just the entire NBA and previewing Blazer games and that type of stuff. So go subscribe to that. If you want some more of us, if you don't, that's fine. But on a previous stream, Eric thought I was crazy for saying that I think Gary Trent Jr. might get more deflections than Trevor Ariza. Am I still crazy? Because, man, that dude is getting his hands on everything.
It's not really deflections. He's picking people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you count that as? I guess.
That's just a little different than getting, because Ariza's more play the passing lanes type deflections.
I guess what I really mean is his hands on balls. You know what I mean? Let's not get into what happened last time with that.
Hands on a lot of balls.
Yeah,
he definitely is. Yes.
There's about 30 of you who know the inside joke. Anyway, dude, let me look up how many steals he had, because I'm curious. Let me go box score here. Gary Trent Jr., he only had 2 steals, but I swear, man, he had a lot of deflections on top of that. He didn't really shoot the 3-ball well, but he was He was 1 for 6 from 3, but he was 4 for 5 from inside the arc. So he was finishing plays. So it wasn't just him being a 3-point sniper. He had a couple plays where he caught the ball and attacked and got downhill. He had a steal on a bad Boban outlet pass, which I think Boban didn't play after that. So poor Boban. Carlisle was pissed at him. But then he hit a turnaround fadeaway over Boban, which is not easy because that dude is maybe the biggest human in the entire NBA other than Taco Fall. Like, Boban's huge, and Gary Trent just calmly hits this turnaround fade over him. So it's just like, it's different types of shots from Gary. He also hit a mid-range pull-up. So, like, I hope that he's kind of struggled from threes past 2 games. I hope he kind of gets that back. But he's doing other things. Not just the defense, he's like scoring inside the arc. So that's the thing, is like Gary can affect the game in so many different ways. It's not just 3-point shooting, it's defense. He can score inside the arc and put the pressure on the defense. So Gary is turning into a very well-rounded player. He led the team with a plus 24 tonight in 36 minutes. That's the thing, we won by 3. He was a plus 24 in 36 minutes. So in the 12 minutes that Gary Trent Jr. was off the floor, we were a minus 21. In the 12 minutes that Gary Trent Jr. was off the floor. And we were a plus 24 with the 36 minutes he was on the floor. Like, plus minus is best, you know, you can't make too many conclusions off that, but I think that says something. Like, we are definitely a better team with him in the game because we need that perimeter defender. We need that perimeter defender in the game, especially against a guy like Luka. And the game just completely changes for us right now with him in the game, pressuring the ball, and just giving a guy like Luka fits.
Yeah, so a bit of controversy, too, at the beginning of the second half. I'm not sure if Collins had some sort of ailment or if Stas just wanted to start Trent in the second half. But in case you missed it, Trent did start the second half of this game.
Yeah, they said
most of
Zach was like over on a bike or something, or overstretching out or something. So I wonder if it is something with Zach. Terry doesn't usually switch his lineups up at halftime unless there is an injury. So I saw some people saying, "Good job, Terry." Even I was one of the people saying, "Terry's starting Trent, thank you." But then it's like, oh, Zach Collins is overstretching out. And then it's like, okay, maybe it's just because there's something up with Zach. I don't know. Either way, I think it was the right decision to start Trent.
And for the people killing Collins, he had 9 points and 5 boards.
Collins was 5 for 7 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. He had 11 and 8 in 20 minutes. What else do you want from him? In 20 minutes, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 for 7 from the field. Like, I don't understand why people are killing Collins right now. He did have 2 turnovers, did have 4 fouls, but like, that'll happen. That'll happen. He had 11 and 8 and started off this game very well. He had 9 quick points. He kept us in touch with Dallas in that first quarter because Dallas started up 8, right? Collins kept us in touch with them so that we were able to get up 10 in the second quarter. If Collins didn't play as well as he did in that first quarter, we probably only maybe tie him in the second, and then we fall behind. Like, Collins' production in the first quarter was huge. If that type of production came in the fourth quarter, everybody would be saying, oh my God, Zach Collins, like, singing his praises. But it's almost like there's so much that happened in this game. There were literally 265 points scored in this game. There's so much that happened that people forget what Zach did in the first quarter because Zach was huge in the first quarter.
And so to people saying he's making bad IQ plays and stuff, it's the whole team. I mean, you mentioned, Block Boy, that Whiteside makes those same bad reads on defense. It's our scheme. That's the scheme we run. We're automatically switching, and the guards we're putting our bigs in like the worst possible positions, and that's why every single game in this bubble we've been in foul trouble. Every single game we've had like at least 20, 30 possessions where our big is matched up on their best player on the perimeter. Like, this kind of stuff is not low, or it's not low basketball IQ. It's the way we design our defense, and we'll get into that more later. But I mean, a little bit on Zach. He does need to improve not fouling as much. He does need to get better with his positioning a little bit so he doesn't get called for some of those fouls. But mostly, it's the same for Hassan, and Hassan chases blocks a little bit. Collins has gotten to a little bit of a bad habit at sometimes, but overall, it's the switching of the picks that's putting our bigs in such terrible positions.
Yeah. Let's talk about Hazonia, because honestly, like, I don't think Hazonia had a bad game, and I am one, like, there were frustrating plays, right? And Hazonia's the type of player where he might have like a decent game, but he'll like do like 2 dumb things that are just so like frustrating that like I'm just sitting there on Twitter like, bro, why is he in? What is he doing? Like, he's like the perfect guy to like get me ranting. Last year it was like Myers or Evan Turner, right? This year it's Mario Hezonja. But he did make some good plays. He had 4 assists in 22 minutes. In the first half, I thought he played a lot better. In the second half, he did have 4 assists. He did rebound the ball well. He did have 5 rebounds. He did have 3. He only had 3 points. 1 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He missed 3 threes, but all the threes he missed were close. Maybe shouldn't have shot that one down the stretch in the fourth quarter on the fast break. But you know, he's not missing by much, and he shot the ball better in the bubble than he has this season. So there's going to be games, you know, where he misses shots. You know, I just want him, okay, if you're going to shoot it with confidence and don't force bad threes, right? You know, if he misses good threes, open threes that aren't early in the shot clock, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? That'll happen. I just want him doing the other stuff. So, like, the playmaking he had in the first half, the rebounding, I thought was beneficial to us. I do think he did have a bad defensive game today. I thought he had a worse defensive game today than he had last game against the 76ers. I thought he was actually like noticeably solid against the Sixers, but today he kind of was too soft on the perimeter, let guys attack him and get by him way too easily. But, I mean, our whole defense was so bad today that it's like I can't even hold it against him, you know?
Oh, man, now Ash shows up. We were talking about your boy TLC earlier.
Shout out.
You want to pronounce his name again real quick?
Timothy Luwawu Cabarro.
All right.
Let me give a shout out to Near Zero again, $5 donation. Let's answer this question and then get back to Hezonja. So Near Zero says, if CJ can't play, would you rather have Ant and Gary playing or Gary and Mario playing? Thank you for the $5 dono. CJ has already played 3 games through it, so I don't think CJ is going to stop playing. It would be nice if this game against Brooklyn didn't matter, because then we could rest CJ. But this isn't an injury that's like really going to fix itself with any rest. It's probably also not an injury that's really going to make itself any like that much worse by playing, or else he probably wouldn't be playing through it, if that makes sense. So I'm not really worried about CJ not playing. If CJ wasn't playing, then Gary would play, and you'd probably have one of Ant or Nasir playing. And you'd have Hezonja in the lineup still. So that's what would happen if CJ couldn't play. Gary would step in. And honestly, like, if that happened, I don't think we'd be screwed. Gary has played so well that if you put him in the starting lineup, our defense would definitely be better, right? And with how well Dame's playing and, like, how well Carmelo has played offensively, and if Nurkic can kind of get back to what we saw earlier in the bubble, like, offensively, we might not be that much worse. Obviously, CJ makes us a better team, but, like, we are a better defensive lineup with Gary Trent Jr. in there as the starting 2 guard. So
yeah, the only thing that really kills is our depth, because then we have like literally no wing or guard options that are reliable off the bench.
Yeah, like
At
Simons would have to come in
to
and step up. You know, Simons would have to come in and like finally like step up and start knocking down shots and like playing OKD. But you know what I mean? Like Simons has that in him. He just hasn't shown it consistently. He showed it in like little flashes, you know. So I don't know. I don't think we'd be screwed. You know, it sucks to hear that. Like it's definitely affecting CJ because he was on fire earlier in the bubble, and I think you can tell on some of his mid-range shots being short that it is affecting him. But I mean, like he's still moving around well. He was still getting decent shots off. I think he'll be able to work his way through it. You know, I think he'll kind of figure it out.
Denthard, we talk about this all the time. You must miss it, but we need you to let us know what he said. Don't just go read something. We're trying to run a show here. It's hard to like go look and find something. And people do this to us all the time. Just send it to us directly through DMs or just post what he said on here so we can talk about it.
Yep. So if it's like the first tweet, I'll find it. But if he's tweeting or retweeting a bunch, then I'm not going to find it. And I don't see anything from Dame. So I don't know. I just checked. I don't know. See, it's hard, and it ruins up the flow. So, yeah, just quote it and post it in the chat because links won't post, or send me the link on DMs. That's the easiest way to do it because we got to keep the flow going. So, do you guys want to look at chat? Do you guys want to look at the games remaining? There's only one game remaining for each team in this race. Do you want me to go over the race for 8th that we're now in the lead in? Or is there a player that we haven't talked about that we need to talk about? What do you guys want?
Denthard, I hate to have to break this to you, but that wasn't Damian Lillard that posted that. You got fooled, man.
Was it a fake Dame account?
Yeah, it says, Skip Bayless posted, "Great game, Dame." And a fake Damian Lillard account posted, "Keep my name out of your mouth, bitch. Don't deserve to talk to me, MF 100. And Poor Dennis. He got fooled.
You got to look at the check mark next to their name.
It even says his Twitter name is at Astro Leonard or something. Like,
Come
dude,
man.
You got played, man. Gosh.
Skip Bayless, great game, Dave. Now I want to see Dave finish it off for Dangerous Nets, then just blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Skip Bayless, screw off. Y'all thought I was really going to read off Skip Bayless tweets? Hell no. Shout out Dylan Block for the $5 donation. Says, would we want to avoid playing the Suns in the play-in tournament? We don't
have a chance to avoid anyone. We're just going to play whoever.
Yeah, I think he's just saying, like, would we rather have a different team? Okay. If we're the 8th seed, I don't care.
Yeah.
I do not care.
And just so people know, if we are the 8th seed, so we win against the Nets, we are the 8th seed. We play a game on Saturday. If we win that, we are the 8th seed. If we lose that, the team that whoever finishes 9th and beat us would have to then turn around and beat us again on Sunday. So the only way for us not to be in the playoffs if we win on Thursday is to have whatever team is 9th beat us both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's extremely unlikely if we win on Thursday.
Yeah. If we win our last game, whoever's playing us in the play-in has to beat us twice. Phoenix, Memphis, or San Antonio, I'm not. If we have a cushion where they have to beat us twice, I'm not that worried. Like, if we can't beat Phoenix 1 out of 2 games, then, like, we probably don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and we're probably not going to do much against the Lakers. You know what I mean? It's like, we've gotten to this point. We have what should be our easiest game of the bubble against Brooklyn, and then that would put us in a position where we have to win 1 out of 2 against teams that we have a better roster than. So we are in the catbird seat, right? If the Blazers don't make it into the 8th seed now, it will be because they didn't play as well as they could have. You know what I mean? It'll be kind of because they choked, you know? So I'm not really worried about who we play, right? We just have to play our best brand of basketball. We have to fix some of the defensive issues. And if we do that, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
and our game is the last game of the night on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we will know if we have to win or not, who we're going to be playing if we win, all that kind of stuff before our game starts. If all 3 of those teams win and we win, we'll be playing the Memphis Grizzlies, which is a great matchup for us, considering how they've struggled. And,
If Memphis wins, they're in the play-in. If Memphis wins, they're in the play-in. If we win, we're in the play-in. So, either way, it doesn't matter what Phoenix and San Antonio does if both of us win. Shout out to Traffy Oli, my man. $10 donation. Dame just tweeted, Tori and Eric have the best post-game show in Portland. No cap. That I can believe. Okay, I believe you. Yeah, that's definitely real.
We don't have to verify that one.
Oh, man. Appreciate the donation, man. Good to see you back around, Traffy Oli. So we're in the catbird seat. I expect it to be a situation where we do have to win on Sunday. What today? Today's Tuesday. Thursday. I don't even know my days of the week right now. Against Brooklyn, I expect it to be where we do have to win. The only way we could have clinched a play-in by the time our game against Brooklyn starts is if 2 of the 3 teams behind us lose, okay? So 2 of Phoenix, San Antonio, and Memphis lose, then we will have clinched at least a play-in, right? If all 3 of them lose, we will have clinched the 8th seed. If 2 of those 3 win, then we have to win just to be in the play-in.
Right.
So, and I expect 2 of 3 of them to win.
They're not all 3 going to lose, but how nice would that be to have all 3 of them lose and we could just rest everyone and play Jalen Adams and Simons and all those guys, like Wendell, Gabriel, Little. They all play 48 minutes, and we're resting for Saturday. That would be so nice.
This is the schedule on the last night of the season. On the last night of the season. Let me get the times up here for you guys as well. So ours is on top, but that's because I have the Blazers as my favorite team. They play last. They play 6 p.m. along with the Pelicans and Magic, and that game doesn't matter, right? So you have 3 games that matter. You have 3 games that matter. You have the Grizzlies versus the Bucks. Hopefully the Bucks can beat the Grizzlies at 1 p.m. Same time. Well, Bucks will probably rest people. That's the problem. But Grizzlies have been playing so bad that...
Yeah, don't we want the Grizzlies to win?
I mean, it could come down to where the Grizzlies win and the Suns win, and then if we lose somehow to Brooklyn, we're out. Compared to if the Grizzlies lose, then we'd still be in. You know what I mean? So it could come down to, like, we want the Grizzlies to lose because it makes us more likely to be in the play-in. You know what I mean? I don't care about who we play. Like, I don't think it really matters. Like, I'd rather play the Grizzlies. The good thing about if it's not the Grizzlies is that if we lose in the play-in against the Suns or the Spurs, we get the 13th pick instead of the 14th pick. That's kind of confusing, but I don't know. Like, are you rooting for the Grizzlies in this game, Eric?
No, I'm just saying, unless they all three lose, I'd rather have the Grizzlies win and then play the Grizzlies and have to beat them 1 out of 2 times. Because there'd be 2-6 in this, and I would have no doubt that we beat them once.
If Brooklyn is, like, resting, like, their top 5 guys they have left, then I probably will be rooting for the Grizzlies, right? If the Brooklyn Nets are putting out just an absolute straight-up garbage lineup, then, like, there should be absolutely no way we lose against in any scenario, like, then yes, I'm rooting for the Grizzlies. But we'll have to wait and see who the Nets put out there. I do expect the Nets to rest some of the guys that have been playing a lot of minutes because they've been playing their guys a lot of minutes. They're like starters, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, Garrett Temple, Jared Allen, those types of guys. And now they're locked in, pretty much. Magic are 32 and 40. They're the 8th seed. Brooklyn is the 7th seed. They're 35 and 36. So that's been the good thing about Brooklyn winning these games is they're locked into 7th right now. So I assume they'll rest guys like Jared Allen, Joe Harris, Garrett Temple. That is on TNT, but that shouldn't come into play because it is the last night of the regular season, right? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that Brooklyn game. But if they're resting the guys that they've been starting, then sure, we'll root for the Grizzlies. But you also have the Suns and Mavericks. The Mavericks, who knows if they'll play their guys. They played their guys tonight, so I don't know if the Mavericks are going to play their guys. But if they do play Luka and Porzingis like at least 20 minutes, then they definitely have a chance in this game. I expect I think Seth Curry rested tonight or is like a little nicked up, so Seth Curry might play in this game. He's definitely huge for them. But then you have the Jazz and the Spurs. I'm not sure if the Jazz are playing for anything, so the Jazz might try and put their guys out, but they have been banged up. Oh wait, why did I take that one? You got Utah playing for the 5th seed, but I think Utah wants to avoid Denver, or they want to avoid Houston. I think Utah wants to avoid Houston. I think they'd rather have Denver. If they pass OKC, which is the only team they could pass, they'd get Houston. They've played Houston like the last 3 playoffs, and it hasn't gone well for them. So I think Utah wants Denver. So I think Utah rests their guys.
I kind of want to see that Houston OKC series.
That would be interesting, man.
Very interesting, yeah.
And then Denver and Utah would be interesting as well. That would be some interesting series. And then Clippers versus Luka. Like, there'd be some good playoff series, especially if we're in that 8th seed. The Blazers versus Lakers. Like, that would be the best slate of first-round playoff series in a while at any season.
Random universe, we were 0-4 against the Thunder last year, and look how that turned out, though.
Exactly.
He says Utah's 0-3 versus Denver this year.
Yeah, but there might have been guys banged up for those games. I'm not entirely sure with that. But yeah, so I do expect 2 of the 3 teams to win. Okay, because it's just a situation where they have to win. The teams they're playing against don't really have to win or might not want to win. So I do expect at least 2 of the 3 teams behind us to win. So I do think it'll be a scenario where we still got to win on Thursday in order to make the play-in game.
And Blockboy had a good point that the Nets don't really have a lot of players, so they can't really rest too many guys.
Yeah, but they could rest like 4 or 5 because they have 13, right? They could play 8 guys, 9 guys. You know what I mean? It might be a situation where like a guy like Joe Harris plays 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? But also, like, what did we do on the last night of the regular season last year? We played 6 guys and played Anthony Simons and Gary Trent Jr. 48 minutes. So Brooklyn might do that. That's
what I'm saying. We got to watch it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what Brooklyn does. Kyle,
it doesn't matter if we win. Just think of that way.
Yeah, if we win, we don't have to worry about any of the other games, right? That's where I almost wish it was just like the first night, but because like it's probably going to because it's probably going to come down to where we do have to try and win. I would love it if all 3 teams lost and we could just rest guys and we could see Nas and Jalen Adams and those guys, but I don't expect that to be the case. I'm looking at the Nets box score because I'm trying to really figure out who they play. Today they oh my god. How did they win? How do they win with their starters playing that bad? Today they rest guys today. Jared Allen did not play, left ankle sprain, injury management. Joe Harris, left groin contusion, injury management. Karis LeVert, left thigh contusion, injury management. And Garrett Temple did not play, rest. So I don't know if, like, the injury management stuff is, like, actually stuff they're dealing with or just, like, a complete BS, like, reason. It just doesn't make sense because I said rest for Garrett Temple. Can you only, like, rest one guy? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Because that's what their lineup looked like. So I'm hoping it's not like, oh, they rested these guys and then they're going to play them against us and try and win. You know what I mean? Because Brooklyn's been playing well. So I can see it coming down to, like, oh, my goodness, we're struggling.
Yeah. Even if they're playing well, we are better, more
so much
talented
better
roster than what they're putting out. They don't have Kyrie or KD. Like, there's absolutely no way if we have to win this game, we should even come close to losing it.
Like, look at this lineup that they put out there today. And they won by 12. I think Orlando didn't play guys. Yeah, they, like, played Gary Clark and Uwundu and Ennis and stuff. So it's not like they're playing against a good team. But, what's his face? Jordan Anderson, right? Isn't that his name? The guy from Virginia? Justin Anderson. 1 for 15, 0 for 12. That's horrible. I was laughing at that when I pulled this up. Chioza Kuruks, Tyler Johnson, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, Donta Hall, who I don't even really know. He had 10 points. Jeremiah Martin had 24 off the bench. So, I mean, like, it's not like these scrubs, like, can't play. Lance Thomas, 12 points, 4 for 5. It's not like these guys are NBA players, so you can never rule anything out. So that's why it's like, we still haven't gotten the job done yet, but like we would have been screwed if we lost this game. Damian Lillard pulls out the win. Let me go back to live chat.
And just to clarify, Beavis and Butthead was asking, there is no way there wouldn't be a playing game. That was only if a team was more than 4 games ahead, which is not mathematically possible. So.
Yep. So I'm just, man, like, this game against Brooklyn could be easy, or we'll be worrying about, like, oh, what would the Blazers do? Have that huge win against Dallas, then blow this one? Like,
Justin Anderson was 0 for 12 last game, and now he's 6 for 8 for 3. What the hell is going on here?
Oh my goodness, man, that would be tragic. Hopefully, you know, I mean, this is the position we wanted, right? We've gone 5-2 in the bubble, and we've done a lot of things wrong in the bubble, and we still have gone 5-2. We've gotten some help from teams like Denver and Philadelphia, missing guys, right? We have gotten a little bit of luck. Phoenix has probably gotten more lucky than us, so other teams behind us have gotten luck too, but this is the position we wanted to be in, right? We wanted to be in the 8th seed going into the last game where all we had to do was beat Brooklyn, and we have the 8th seed. When I thought there was an outside at the start of this bubble, I thought there was an outside shot that we could get an 8th seed. Memphis has played terrible. They're 1-6. We are 5-2. We needed to get 4 more wins than them during the bubble in these 8 games. We've gotten 4 more wins than them in the first 7. So, like, if you said at the start of the bubble, okay, going into the last game of the bubble, they're going to be an 8th, a half game ahead of Memphis, a half game ahead of San Antonio, and a half game ahead of Phoenix. Would you take that? You would have taken that, right? Mm-hmm. You would have taken that. My first question would be, like, how the hell is Phoenix tied with Memphis? But
and San Antonio.
Yeah, like, where's New Orleans?
Yeah, what happened in New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans is like 3 games back. Like, you know, I would have been shocked, but I definitely would have taken that. That's the situation we're in. Because Phoenix went 7-0. Memphis. See, Phoenix was 5 games behind Memphis to start the bubble, and they're tied with them going into the last game. That's insane. So, Giannis is definitely getting suspended.
He just headbutted someone, I guess.
I'll get on Twitter.
Okay, so Melo, you're saying I said we wouldn't make it? I was actually the most optimistic about our chances of making the playoffs.
He did. Ooh, sorry, I just reacted to the... I'll play it. I'll play it for you guys. I'm only going to play it in, like, the small window. I don't want, like, copyright or anything. But, yeah, so this happened. That happened. Yeah, he just straight up headbutted Mo Wagner.
Yep.
So, they're saying Giannis Zidane, or however you say his name. You remember that guy in the World Cup, the headbutt? Has been ejected after this headbutt. Jeez, man. Yeah, so he might get suspended. I'm not sure. Do you think he gets suspended for that?
Yeah. I mean, I think they called a flagrant 2, which is an automatic 1-game suspension. Is it?
I don't think
so.
I don't think it's an automatic suspension. I think that's college.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, to me, that's the same as throwing a punch, almost. Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't get suspended.
From the side angle, it doesn't look as bad. It looks like he kind of just walked into him.
It doesn't matter for the Bucks anyway. Even if they suspended him 2 games, they're still easily winning their first round matchup against the Magic. So
it's just he was probably going to rest the last game anyway. It's just like they play Memphis, right? Yeah, they play Memphis, so that might help Memphis win. They probably were going to rest him anyway. I don't know, man. It's interesting. This bubble has been phenomenal. No positive coronavirus tests since players have reached the bubble. Other than the first day, a couple guys had it and they got quarantined, right? So in terms of just how the NBA has thrown this, it's been as good as possible, I feel like. And then the action has been great. This Western Conference playoff race is great. There has been some really good basketball. The players didn't come back out of shape. They were pretty in shape. And nobody really seemed that rusty, right? You have Damian Lillard beefing with Paul George. You got this Giannis thing now, I guess. The action has been phenomenal, man. This bubble has been great just as a normal NBA fan.
Actually, some of the best teams are panicking a little bit with how, the Laker fans and Buck fans and the Clippers haven't played phenomenally. So, yeah, it's making things interesting. And like I've talked about, the most intense teams were going to be those teams fighting for the playoffs and that had a legit chance of passing people for certain seeds. But teams like the Lakers and Bucks, it's really hard to get up for these games when they're basically glorified preseason games for them.
But also the Lakers don't really have anything outside of LeBron and AD. They're missing Avery Bradley. They're missing Rajon Rondo. They might get Rondo back. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not, trying to preview anything here. But they don't have much talent around AD and LeBron. They got Kuzma, who will have a good game, then have an absolutely terrible game. He's super inconsistent. And on average, he's not that good. And then Danny Green and Caruso and Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee. Their team is not impressive. Their roster is not that... It's not impressive outside the top 2 guys there. So that's the thing. It's they're struggling. I think there is something to it. I think there is something to it because LeBron isn't playing that well. And, of course, these guys aren't going to get that up for the game. But their roster is not impressive at the same time. You know what I mean? Outside of LeBron and AD. Go ahead.
I got to address some slander in the chat right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I initially said that I thought the Blazers had a 60% chance of making it. Then Ariza opted out, and I said I kind of downgraded it a little bit. But he's saying that I said it was probably 25% that they made the playoffs. I was never that low. I never said that was that low. And that was to make the playoffs, not the play-in game. I've always said it's been about 50% or more that they make the play-in game. And I did say that I was worried about New Orleans, but I don't know what you're talking about. I have been fairly optimistic that they would at least make the play-in game. I thought that would be easier than making the playoffs because I figured we'd have to beat Memphis twice. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, ignore the crap from people that aren't listening to us hard enough. Was still a headbutt, but dude flopped. Yeah, I mean Wagner is European, so probably has a little soccer in his background. Can the Blazers upset the Lakers? I mean, never rule it out. Their defense has to get better, though. Let's address that right now, all right? This is the negative thing from this game.
Guys, for everyone talking about CJ, we've been on for an hour now. We addressed that towards the beginning of the show. We talked about it for a while. So.
There are people that are probably just tuning in, but yes, we've addressed CJ. So, yeah, we've addressed CJ. We've gotten over pretty much every player, and we've talked about CJ's injury, talked about how I think he was missing some shots short just because of that injury. Hopefully he can play through it. That was just our thoughts on it, but he should still be in the lineup since he's already played 3 games with it. So, let's talk about the defense, right? The Blazers have to stop switching everything. This is getting ridiculous, okay? We should not have been in this position in the first place where we needed Dame to score every 61 of his points, but, I just don't understand why they're switching every screen. The pick and roll defense has gotten worse because they've just started switching everything, and it doesn't make sense. I want you guys, after this stream, to go watch the full highlights of this game and count how many buckets the Blazers gave up because they were mismatched with, Nurkic on Doncic, or Dame on Porzingis, or
Whiteside on Doncic.
Or Whiteside on Doncic. I want you guys to count how many buckets we give up because of that. It's a lot, and it's what we've been doing like the past 3 or 4 games. We've been switching so many pick and rolls, not even trying to fight through them, and we keep ending up in mismatches. That's a big part of the reason why our bigs were in foul trouble. You had Nurkic fouling out, you had Whiteside with 4, you had Collins with 4. It's because they keep getting stranded out on the perimeter against these guards, and it's hard for them to move their feet to stay in front. They're trying hard, but they can't quite beat a Luka Doncic to the spot, so they slide into them and pick up fouls like that. Or they get blown by and the other big has to rotate over and help, and that's tough, and that will pick up fouls on the big guys too. So it's just a big problem with our defense, the fact that we're switching everything right now.
My biggest problem with the switching, and we talked about it last night, I showed film, we just switch because, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We don't even try to see if we can first fight through the pick and get through it and maybe still be in position to not have to switch. We just say, oh, here's the pick. We have to switch that and put our big man on him because they're setting a pick. And that's just crazy to me how, if they're watching film of the games and can see what I showed you guys last night and just 3 possessions out of a whole game consecutively, this happens constantly in every game we play, how they could not be addressing that we do not want to automatically switch anytime someone even fakes setting a screen. It's so ridiculous. All Luka has to do is call for a pick, and then whoever guarding him just automatically goes to the big guy, and then the big guy switches onto him. He doesn't even have to set a proper pick on the guy. It is so frustrating.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, man. Why would we want to have Nurkic out on Luka? Why would we want to switch? You switch when it's 2 similar defenders, right? I'm not saying never switch, right? If it's a screen or something involving Dame and CJ, switch that. Dame and CJ are basically equal defenders, so it doesn't matter who guards who, right? If you have a versatile lineup out there, like Houston throws out there with a bunch of wings, right? They switch because they have similar defenders, so it doesn't really matter who guards who. The problem is we're playing lineups with 2 7-footers, and we're switching. So we're switching 7-footers out onto guys like Doncic. With Houston, it's you're switching their big guys are Robert Covington and PJ Tucker, who are great perimeter defenders. So they're switching those guys out onto Luka. That's fine. With us, it's we're switching Dame onto Porzingis and Nurkic onto Luka, and they just exploited that all game. So I don't really understand the thought process behind it. It's something that'll hurt us if we are switching a big onto LeBron or a small onto Anthony Davis, if we make the playoffs. That is something that'll hurt us, and I don't really understand it. It doesn't really make sense. Beavis and Butthead said we fought through screens tonight. I don't know what you saw because we switched on 80% of our screens. So if you switch a screen, you're not going to fight through it. You just stay with the guy who screened you, and we did that 80% of the time. So I don't really understand that.
The other thing we did too much is, so the big guy will switch, and then the guarding Doncic or whoever will kind of half go with him too, so It's not a trap, but he's still kind of going with him, and then all Doncic has to do is turn around and throw it back out to Porzingis or Claver in the corner or whatever, and it results in a wide open 3 because we're totally out of position. I just don't understand why you wouldn't fight through picks every time, especially given our unsuccessful ability to play defense in these last few games.
It is hard to trap against a team that has 5 shooters on the floor, which Dallas did, but experiment with hedging. There was one possession during the first quarter where Nurkic hard hedged out. It was kind of weird. I was surprised. I don't know if you know what play I'm talking about, but there was a pick and roll with Luka, and Nurkic played up hard on Luka, made Luka pick up his dribble, and then recovered to his man. And I don't think Dallas got a good shot off. It was at some point in the first half, and it was the only time I really saw that happen all game. And it was why don't we do more of that? Why don't we do more of that? It forced Luka to pick up his dribble. We recovered. We didn't give up an open shot from it. That's exactly what we want. Instead, it's we were either switching, and on some occasions, we would just drop the big, which I've always said this. Luka Doncic loves playing against a drop big. And we'll have to talk about this for Damian Lillard because Dallas was doing the same thing, right? I'm going to tie this all together with that. But Luka loves playing against a drop big because he can go downhill and attack the big, and he loves doing that, and he loves playing that style of basketball. So dropping the big against Luka is not the right decision, and he can get downhill, and if you don't help on him, he can score pretty consistently, and if you help on him, he'll just throw it out to shooters who will have wide open threes. So
I know you know the answer to this. What's Luka's 3-point percentage?
It is 32, 33%.
Yeah.
So but for whatever reason, he always kills us from 3.
I know, but why would you not want him to shoot more like contested threes than like getting drives, and that's what he likes to do, and getting contact, drawing fouls, stuff like that. So the fact that we're not fighting through those screens to try and make him stay on the perimeter is just crazy to me. And then just real quick, so chat, Joshua, they're messing with you. Russell Westbrook, they're messing with you. Everyone knows CJ's hurt. We talked about it. So we have a bunch of people trying to tell them that they're lying and it's fake. And chat's not even listening to what we're saying.
I know. Chat's just off on their own thing like usual.
CJ is hurt. He has a lower back fracture. He's had it since Thursday. He's played 3 games with it, so we're expecting him to play unless we do not need to win on Thursday, which is highly doubtful, but it would be nice to rest all our starters because they've been playing major minutes, but CJ has been playing with it. So the chat's been messing with you. Shout out for messing with him, but yeah, let's be done with that, okay?
But yeah, as far as, I would rather, hard hedge Luka. Try not to let him get downhill. Luka, you just can't let him get downhill, right? With 5 shooters out there, you could run into trouble if you just straight up trapped him, and then they found shooters, because there was a play that we did that in the second half, but I would have liked to throw it out there as a wrinkle and try and rotate correctly where we didn't give up shots.
The play I think you're talking about is like Trent just came on his own and doubled him, right? But my problem is, against Harden, we usually trap him out of the picks, right?
Yep.
Like there's a pick set and you trap him with both the guy getting picked and the person guarding the screener. Whereas, like with Luka, for some reason, we just run someone across from the court to him, and that's playing right into what Luka wants to do because he's big. It would be like doing that to LeBron, kind of like he can just throw it right over the top of whoever's coming, and it's not a good trap. But like we had so many opportunities to trap him in positions that could have forced turnovers.
Yeah.
He's not great when he gets trapped like that. So I just feel like we did the same thing against Trae Young earlier in the year, where we trap him like so like stupidly in times where we shouldn't trap. And we don't trap him in all these other times where it would have been effective, I think. And then we say, I'm sure Stotts will say, see, we did try to trap Doncic one time in the second half and it didn't work. See, guys? Like that's why we don't trap a guy like that. But yeah, so it's frustrating to me that, I mean, you and I are not NBA coaches, but we knew how bad our switching defense has been against not extremely talented players the last couple games. And we both thought it would be crazy to not at least alter that defensive plan just a little bit, make a little tweak to it going into this game. And the fact that they came out in this game, they actually were, I mean, Dallas went cold at the end of the first quarter, but they had 32 points like really fast in this game.
Yeah.
And we were luckily scoring a lot too, but it's not, we're not going to win in the playoffs just trying to outscore teams. It's not going to work. We have to do something different.
I mean, we gave up 131 points. 131 points, man. Like, that happens, like, too consistently. 120, 130 points. I know teams are scoring well in the bubble, but, like, you look at all the other scores, the losing teams from the other games that are final today, 96, 105, 117, 107. Let's go back to Monday. The losing teams score 101, 114, 106, 92, 121. The Nuggets lost to the Lakers. So, like, these teams are scoring 130 losing, you know what I mean? Like, with us, 131. We beat a team that we gave up 131 to in regulation. You know what I mean? Like, our offense has been very good in this bubble. I think we have the highest offensive rating.
Lillard has been good.
Yeah, our Damian Lillard. And Melo. Melo's been huge. And Gary Trent. Like, guys have stepped up, right? CJ had a couple good games early on, and then now has this injury. Nurkic had a couple good games early on, had a 30-point game. So it's like guys have been stepping up offensively. Our defense is like one of the worst in the bubble. It's just like if we could fix our defense, we would have a legitimate shot at beating the Lakers if we just did different things defensively, in my opinion. If we just didn't switch and drop the big on everything. If we threw out a hedge, if we threw out a double, I think it would by far increase our chances. If we switch things up, kept the offense off, or kept the Lakers off balance if we end up facing them, I think that's how you got to do it. Because if LeBron sees the same scheme all game, he's going to be just picking it apart by the second half. You got to switch things up. You got to switch up looks. So, but what's funny is, do you want to make a comment on that? I'll let you make a comment.
I was just going to say the Lakers. The weird thing about that is they would kill the switch in a different way. And that's like normally we wouldn't want our guards to switch on to, or our bigs to switch onto their guards. But they try to get you to switch so you have a guard on their bigs, so their bigs can break you down. So like they want Anthony Davis and LeBron to get like mismatched on a Dame or something like that. So it's going to be the complete opposite. So if we still switch, they're just going to back those guys down or throw it into them into the post. So it'll be like backwards from what we're used to seeing. We'll have to see if our inside defense can hold up against that kind of pressure, because our inside defense has actually still been pretty good. But yeah, we'll have to see because if the Lakers are making 3-point shots, we're in a lot of trouble. But if they continue to struggle shooting, I feel like we do have a chance in the game. And I'm not predicting we're going to beat them or anything. I'm just saying we have a legit chance to make some noise.
Near Zero says, with the $5 donation, thanks for the donation, man. He says, with shot blockers, don't you want to force the ball inside on pick and rolls? Against certain guys, yes. Against certain guys, yes. So Luka's not the guy to do that against, because Luka wants to go inside, and he just manipulates space so well, and he can have a field day. Even with shot blockers, he can have a field day if he's allowed to attack downhill. So against a guy like Luka, we need to switch it up and try and keep him on the perimeter more. He's not a great three-point shooter. Against some other guys, but you don't want to give teams the same look all game long. And you also don't want to switch. That's like our main problem now, is we're just switching everything, so now we're even worse.
See, the problem is when we switch, we have our shot blocker then 20 feet away from the hoop.
Yeah.
So, yes, we want, if our centers are playing guys who stay down low, like a JaVale McGee or something, you don't have to worry about him shooting threes. So in those situations, it might be better to let the guy drive a little bit and then contest his shot. But against a guy like Porzingis, and sWitching onto Doncic, so you have like Gary Trent Jr. guarding Porzingis and like Whiteside or Nurkic guarding Doncic. That's not ideal. Like, yeah, I don't like to do that.
Benji Webb, I'm just gonna assume you're joking. Just switch up different looks. Different schemes work better against different players, right? Scheme stuff is situational, right? Depending on who we have on the court, our players might run a certain scheme better just based on like what type of defenders they are. And also, depending on who the other team has on the court offensively, different schemes might be better to run against different offensive players. So that's the thing, is like there should never just be like one defensive scheme all the time. It's easy to figure out. It's easy to scout. You know what I mean? And that is the thing, is we need to switch it up more, and we need to switch less. Like, switching with this lineup doesn't work. You can't have 7-footers out there against a James Harden or against a Luka Doncic. Like, there's a reason we don't just switch everything against James Harden. We actually come out with a good defensive game plan against James Harden. Why can't we do it against Luka Doncic, who's kind of a similar player? Like, why can't we do it against him? You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense, because our game plans against James Harden are great, I think. There's a reason why we do well and play our best defense against the Houston Rockets. It's because that's like the one team we switch up our defensive game plan for. So I just don't really understand why we don't do it more. But right now we just got to stop switching at this point.
Trevin has like the most ironic comment of all time, and that's the one game we talked about how we should have switched, we lost, you know, like that, and that was just a situational thing. But the Philly game, I mean, yes, there are times where switching works, and you should switch a little bit, and that's, to your point, what you were just trying to say is that you have to have different looks. Like, if we switch every time, the other team gets comfortable and scores 131 points because they know what you're going to do every time Porzingis comes and sets a pick. They know you're going to switch automatically and put the big on, and they know how to attack that. But if we did something different, you know, like just 3 different things, and you do one sometimes, you do one the other time, and you do one, then you can't say like one thing is getting destroyed the entire game, because we would have been doing other things too. So like, you could say, oh, it didn't work those times, but at least you were trying something different. My frustration is deep into the fourth quarter, when we had to get stops, we were still doing the automatic switching on picks, and that's just baffling to me.
Let me just say this. because Benji had a comment said Terry Stotts is a great coach. All this hate is weird. This isn't hate. Like we're critiquing what's wrong with our defense that just gave up 131 points, right? I don't think anybody who's being honest with themselves can say that there's nothing wrong with our defense right now, right? Like we gave up 131 points. We still won, right? But we gave up 131 points. So there's obviously some issues with our defense. Right now we're just pointing out and talking about the issues that are there with our defense. We've pointed out it's not just like, a witch hunt for Stotts, because I've pointed out against Houston, he comes up with good game plans. I pointed out he put out the right lineup and had the right game plan on the last play of the game. I pointed that out, so it's not just some sort of, hate against Terry thing. We're just pointing out the problems with our defense, which are very prevalent right now. And honestly, I think Terry would tell you there's issues with our defense.
And I just want to state this for the record. If you think a coach is good, look at the way his team plays after halftime of games. And we are getting absolutely destroyed in every third quarter. That, to me, says that something is wrong and something is happening with the coaching not making the right adjustments at the halftime of these games. And the other coaches are, and we're not adapting to those. And once again tonight, without a historic performance from Damian Lillard, we lose this game because we made no adjustments at halftime and did not do a single thing. Dame just came back in the fourth quarter and started going crazy for three. And so if you think that's good coaching, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not. We're winning because we have Damian Lillard and a guy like Melo who's stepping up in these games. It's not because of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't care what we were ranked a year ago or 2 years ago. What are we doing today? What are our issues today? What are our issues in this bubble? All right, because focusing on the issues in our bubble, that's honestly, as a coaching staff, they need to be focusing on what we're doing wrong. Just like we're focusing on what they're doing wrong right now, which, we haven't really been negative at all through, the first hour of the stream, right? So, we've been very positive, but we do call it how it is. So we do look at the good and we do look at the bad. The coaching staff should be doing the same exact thing. The coaching staff should be looking at, okay, where's this team struggling and what can we do to fix it? That's exactly what we're doing right now. The coaching staff should not be sitting there saying, oh, well, we were 10th best 2 years ago in terms of our defense, so we don't need to do anything or fix anything. The coaching staff shouldn't be thinking that. They should be focusing on what they can improve on. And that's what we're doing here. They need to improve on their defense. And there are some very fixable issues with our defense. That's a good thing, I think, because we're 5-2, right? We're 5-2, and there are some very prevalent but fixable issues with our defense. If we fix these issues with our defense, we could be a very dangerous team, right? So you can look at it as us being negative, but it's also constructive criticism, right? Don't look at this is just a life thing. Don't look at constructive criticism as automatically negative, right? Because you can gain from taking in constructive criticism. And that's all we're giving in terms of the defense right now. There are very fixable problems that this coaching staff should easily be able to fix. I don't have a ton of confidence that they're going to do it, but they're very fixable problems. And if we fix them, we could give the Lakers a run for their money. So let's stop switching and let's start switching up our scheme like that's all it is.
And we went the first 70 minutes of this show not really bashing anyone. But we almost lost the game because we did not make a single adjustment to our defense, and we needed Damian Lillard to save us again. I just don't understand. We did nothing. Coaches did nothing to win us this game. We got lucky because we have great players on our team.
We have the best player in franchise history. This is our 50th year anniversary. There are times where I watch Damian and there's no way this dude's not the best, the most talented player in franchise history. He had his third 60-point game for us in the last year, right? Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
61.
Yeah. This year he has three, yeah.
Okay, that's this season. He has 3 60-plus point games, man. 61 tonight, tying a franchise record. Bro, there was not a 60-point game in this franchise for 49 seasons, and this year he has 3.
So Benji says, do you have a better scheme? Dude, we just told you what to... we just broke that down for 10 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, it's
because we have broken that down.
It's the fact that we don't ever change our scheme. Our defense is horrible. If your defense sucks, you need to do something different. Don't just keep doing the same thing and being oh, I can't help it. The defense sucks. Oh, I don't have the personnel or whatever. At least try something different. If it still sucks, what does it matter? Because your regular defense sucks.
I mean, Yeah, we've explained it. We've explained it, so we don't need to like buy in and like repeat it. We've explained it. You know, we've explained what we think. You know, and maybe we're wrong. I don't know, but like what we think we need to do. So anyway, just don't buy it. Don't buy it, toys.
Well, the other thing is too. So 2 years ago, we had the 8th best defense. That was the year Nurk was fully healthy. But the next season. So I was told this on Twitter. Well, Nurk got hurt. That's why our defense was like middle of the road last year. Nurk played 72 games last year. He played 79 the year before. It wasn't enough difference to make going from like the 8th best defense to the 16th best defense. And we had basically same personnel, if not maybe even better defensive personnel last year compared to the year before, minus maybe Ed Davis at center. But like, that kind of proves people's point. If your defense is only good if you have personnel to make it better, it means that you're not doing anything coaching wise. You're just doing the same thing. You just have better defenders. So like the true sign of a good coach is to make the most out of people who aren't good defenders. And if you can't do that, then you're not coaching the game. If you're just saying, "Oh, I'm doing my scheme," it's the players that aren't running it right. Like, well, no, maybe your scheme isn't good for the personnel you have. So why not try a different scheme to see if the personnel would thrive into a different situation?
And the thing is, when we trap James Harden, it's like the best defense we play all season long. When the one team we try a different scheme against, we have success against, and that's the Houston Rockets. We won 3 games, lost 1 against them. I think the one we lost we were definitely had some injuries, which, you know, do affect things. But the one team we switch up the scheme against, it works. Okay, so that kind of shows you maybe we should throw it out against the Luka Doncic instead of switching Nurkic onto him, who Luka can just abuse. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, you know, if you don't see that, then that's fine. You know, like, you don't have to agree with us, but we have gone pretty in-depth on this. William said earlier basically what we're saying, which is don't switch bigs onto guards, trap hedge screens, and then go back to assignments. Yeah, I mean, like, we can drop sometimes too. Just switch it up, throw a trap, throw a hedge in there, keep them off balance, keep them on their toes, not knowing what to expect when they come off a pick and roll. I think that would work. And the thing is like when our defense is this bad, you should be trying different stuff to see if, okay, maybe if we throw something else at the other team, maybe it'll work. You know, we're already struggling so much defensively that what could it hurt if we throw a different scheme out there or try something different? But we don't experiment enough with it. And honestly, like, bro, Chad Dewing and us have had a long going argument about Terry Stotts. Even Chad Dewing has said we need to do different stuff scheme wise and says we need to switch up our scheme more. Even Chad Dewing says that, who is just one of the biggest Stotts homers in media and who we constantly argue with on Stotts. Even he says that. So, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's like, I don't know.
Wait, no, Nurkic had a big stop on Luka in crunch time, even though he fouled out was sitting on the bench in crunch time. That's amazing. I'm done with. We're done focusing on him.
We're done focusing on that. There was something else I wanted to respond to. Oh yeah, I don't even want to go that in depth on this, but every time we run a 2-3 zone on a baseline inbounds, we give up an open shot. Every time.
No, we didn't this time, but that's because Porzingis took like a mid-range jumper instead of passing.
Okay, we ran it 3 times. Yeah, and he took a bad shot, but twice. There was one that Tim Hardaway Jr. caught the ball in the middle of the floor off a baseline inbounds and hit a jumper. You guys remember what play I'm talking about where on a baseline inbounds they just threw it to Tim Hardaway Jr. at like the free throw line and he just hit a jumper? It was because we were running a 2-3 zone and the top 2 guys of the zone were like near the sidelines. Like we get... They score on us a lot off a 2-3 zone off the inbounds, and that's like not... Man, all right, well, we're just going to ban you at this point if you're going to insult us, so see you later. But yeah, I mean, we need to stop running a 2-3 zone on an inbounds. You know, like, as like a wrinkle here and there, yes, but we don't execute it right. And zones don't really work, especially against good shooting teams. So like trying it against a team like Dallas, who has 5 shooters on the floor, it just doesn't really work. So just go back to man. I don't really understand why we do that. Because it just gives up open shots, you know, and we don't execute it that well. And then, I don't know, I don't really like the idea of running not just any change to our scheme will work. You know, not just throwing anything out there, right? Just because we shouldn't drop the big as much and we should switch things up doesn't mean that we should start switching screens and switching into mismatches, you know?
That's the most frustrating part. Like, Stotts is practicing he's had 2 training camps now with this team. Like how do you not know what your personnel can handle and what are good to do, and how are you not seeing like the analytics of running a 2-3 zone and how easily it gets destroyed and all that.
Because I guarantee you guys, the stats of teams against our 2-3 zone on a baseline inbounds are not pretty for us. I guarantee it. Like, I have paid enough attention to be able to say that with 100% certainty that teams are probably shooting like at least 60% against us when we do that. So Stotts should have that type of stats at his hands, those types of analytics, to know that he shouldn't be running that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, like, I don't know, like, just the switching thing. Like, that's just the one thing that's driving me crazy now. There's other stuff, but, like, the one thing that's really driving me crazy, I mean, how many times did I tweet out today, please stop switching? I tweeted it out in, like, 10 different ways. I'm trying to get creative and, like, change up the way that I'm begging or yelling at the team to stop switching, but it gets so frustrating, man. Like... And I saw a lot of other Blazer fans who do watch us, like, realize that as the game was going on and say, stop switching, stop switching, stop switching. So it's the switching is just, that's the frustrating part about it. And that's the thing. We should be able to switch our scheme and be a better defense than this. We should not be this bad defensively. We have Gary Trent Jr., who should be playing more, but he's playing like 35, 36 minutes a game. I would say 40 at this point because we are so much better with him in the lineup. But 35, 36 minutes a game, he's playing. You got Nurkic, Collins, Hassan in the front court. We have good defensive bigs. And Dame, honestly, at this point, I don't think Dame is a bad defender. I think Dame is an average defender, at least in the bubble. Like, he has stepped up defensively and played good defense in the bubble. The problem is like, he'll, like, switch onto a big. You know, it's not like him. It's like a scheme thing. But, like, one-on-one defensively, Dame has been good. He played good defense on Tatum in that Celtics game. Like, Dame, he's looked very quick-footed. Yeah. And the thing is, when Luka was scoring, it was mostly because they switched. So that's the thing. It's like, Dame's an average defender. Like, Carmelo, honestly, his individual defense hasn't been bad at the 3. We thought it was going to be horrible at the 3. I don't think it's been bad. I think, like, he's been very active with his hands. He's been very quick-footed. He'll still fall asleep. He'll still make mistakes. But, like, his defense is, like, you don't really notice it, which is a good thing for Carmelo Anthony playing the 3 at 36 years old or however old he is now. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like we have a defensive personnel that should be giving up 130-point games, in my opinion. We should be better than this defensively.
I think what's happening is Melo's been primarily guarding someone who's not really involved in the pick and roll, so it hasn't been an issue.
Which is smart if you're going to have him out there, because he's probably the worst at getting through screens, even though, like, CJ and Dame aren't good.
Yeah, see, that's the only problem with that. So, like, and this has been my point all along. It's not that Melo can't handle it. It's that because he's not involved in those pick and rolls, that means Dame and CJ are. So they're having to work all that much harder. You know, you don't know how CJ got hurt, but, like, you know, like that puts a lot more strain on your body trying to have to go through picks and stuff like that. Or getting switched to a big and having to, like, try to defend him in the post or whatever. But yeah, so I'm just worried about, because up until this point, our whole scheme defensively is to put our small forward on the best defender because Dame and CJ haven't been able to handle that.
So in the past, that would be Harkless. Yeah.
So if Dame is able to handle it, and I thought it affected him, like, obviously the end of the Clippers game where he comes up short on a bunch of shots, including 2 free throws, whereas it didn't really affect him the last 2 games, but Trent's played so much in the last 2 games that Dame hasn't, like I said, he started on Luka, but he didn't really guard him much after the first couple plays. So, and Luka's the type that dominates the ball when he's in the game. So if you don't have Dame on him, you can kind of rest him on defense a little bit. If Trent's emergence on defense has helped that out tremendously, not having all that pressure on Melo to have to be that guy, which is not his game at all. He's not going to guard like Luka and shut him down. So I feel like we're playing him perfectly, or as well as we can. I just don't know how it affects, like, other players. And it has nothing to do with Melo. I'm not bashing him at all. I'm just saying, like, he's better guarding, like, posts or, like, bigger guys at this point in his career versus smaller, quicker guys. And that goes for pretty much everyone, unless you're, like, crazy athletic like LeBron or Giannis or someone like that. Most 3-4s would have struggle guarding most point guards in this league, and that's why, like Trevin pointed out earlier, Dame on JJ Redick's podcast said that he loves when teams switch picks and drop the bigs because that's all day money for him. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if you have our best player saying that, why is our whole defensive philosophy designed to switch picks and drop our bigs and stuff like that? Like, we're just playing into what these players talk about. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm playing Portland tonight. They're going to switch all the picks. I'm going to go off for 40. Like, that's what happens. Like, players think that way, you know? Mm-hmm. And when they're right, they go into the game knowing exactly what shots they're going to get the entire night. Like, that's frustrating to me that we don't ever try to make them uncomfortable, except for randomly when we play Houston. We know how to make Harden uncomfortable, but we don't. He's one of the best offensive players in the league, maybe of all time, and like we struggle to stop anyone else but Harden. That makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex Morgan said, I knew you'd love that podcast clip. It's like, he literally said, like, word for word, some, like, when teams drop bigs, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, we drop our bigs. We drop our bigs. Like, and the thing is, tonight, what did Dallas do? They just kept constantly dropping the big, and Dame kept walking into threes. He had 9 threes because of it. He had good looks all game long because of it. Because they were dropping their big. And so it's like, okay, and then other teams do it to us, and we're not supposed to say, like, okay, why are we dropping our big against, you know, a guy, like a player similar to Dame? You know what I mean? When Dame says he loves when teams do it to him, and he goes off against it. You know what I mean? That just shows, like, there's certain guys in the league that you just can't drop the big against. You can't do it. And Dame might be the number one guy in the entire NBA that you can't drop the big against. So like Carlisle coached a horrible defense today. He did us a favor. You know, it was Dame playing insane, but like Carlisle should not have just been dropping the big all game long and letting Dame walk into these threes. What's funny is Stotts was an assistant under Carlisle before he came here, so like that's where Stotts got it from, I guess. You know, it was funny because I was going on Twitter and like reading through Maverick fans that were like, "Why are we still dropping the big? Why are we dropping the big?" And it was like, this sounds familiar. This is us. when we do this to guys that are going off and we don't adjust. It was so weird. It was just funny because it was like just a perfect like mirror image.
See, the problem is, like Porzingis he's an okay rim protector, but he is not good. Like you saw Dame in the first half, especially just blow by him time and time again. But yeah, so I feel like because like Boban couldn't switch on to Dame, and like Luka's not the greatest defensive player, even though someone who has a vote for all defensive team actually voted Luka all first defensive team. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah,
what?
I posted this. Huh? And the same guy voted Andre Drummond for defensive player of the year. His number one.
What?
Yep.
That's a troll ballot, man.
No, it's not. The guy's serious. He's been fighting with people on Twitter because he thinks rebounds mean you're a good defender. And he says Luka averages the most rebounds for guards or some crap like that. And that makes it.
It's all defensive team, not all rebounding team.
I know.
Why is it Hassan defensive player of the year? He's like number one in blocks.
He voted Hassan second for defensive player of the year and Giannis third.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
And I think Porzingis was on the second team. But then all NBA team, he had Trae Young's second all NBA team over Dame.
That guy's a casual. How did he get those types of credentials? Why can't we vote then?
He had Brandon Ingram on the second team. He had Andre Drummond on it. Yeah.
Me and you should put out.
You gotta check it out. I retweeted it, but yeah.
Me and Eric will put out ballots. Maybe on this main channel we'll turn it into a video or something. We'll do like a collaboration video, which we've never really done before, and like say what like our ballots are. That could be something dope. And like put out our ballots, because I guarantee you like our ballots would make sense.
Yeah, they named the finalists for all the awards too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, all the finalists for all the Warrior awards are probably guys we'd pick. You know what I mean? So, like, with it, not even like focus on the finalists, like all NBA team, all defensive team.
Devontae Graham, but he got robbed for being a finalist on.
I wasn't. Yeah, he should have been a finalist. So we're not gonna focus on that, but let's do a video like that. I'm down to do a video like that. I haven't done a video in a while, since the last video I made was when I was complaining about the Pelicans' easy schedule. Like, bro, they just gave them a cakewalk. And yeah, where are the Pelicans right now? I think they're losing to the Kings right now.
They're down 13 with 8 minutes left in the game. So.
How many games? Let me see how many games behind they are right now.
They're about to go 1-6.
1-6 with this schedule. They were not ready. They were overrated. I was telling everybody they were overrated too, but then it was like they got that schedule, and I'm like, oh my god, they should be able to make the playoffs easily. Yeah, it's just crazy how like the two teams we were least worried about are the ones on our heels. That's insane, and that's Phoenix and San Antonio. So
I'm gonna lose that game in the picks against the spread, but
I'm gonna win it.
They're killing the Wizards, so you're gonna lose that one.
Yeah, I lost the Blazer one. Which I'm fine, obviously I'm fine with that. So I think we're even, because I won the first game of the day.
We all won the Nets one. We all won the Spurs one. We all got our double down. You lost the Celtics one. Chat and I both won that. Chat and I both won the Suns game, and you lost that one.
Yeah.
On some controversy there. But, and then...
No, I won the Suns one.
Chat and I...
We changed it.
What's that?
We changed the Suns one. Remember, we argued on it, you said, oh, it's fine, you can be the Suns. And I was like, okay. We're going to have to review the tape.
No, you said, I'm going to stick with the Sixers, because then if I changed it, I would be mad if they won.
And you said, no, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking the Suns then.
No, you said afterwards that you wanted to take
We're going to have to review the tape. We're going to have to review the tape.
No, Trevin, come on.
We're going to have to review the tape, man.
Trevin, go check the tape.
No, I will post the clip on Twitter. I will post the clip on Twitter, bro. I knew Eric was gonna pull this, man. I knew Eric was gonna pull this. Like literally, if the Sixers kept it, no, I swear to God, I would not be arguing this if like the Sixers won. I would not be saying that because I legitimately, no, I promise, I swear, bro, I swear on my life.
But then he changed it back.
And then you said it was okay. I changed it back because I thought you wanted, like, were making me. So, and then when you said no, it's fine. I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna pick the Suns.
No, you.
Maybe I forget wrong. We'll review the tape. Let's not argue about this. This isn't Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. All right. If it was, you'd be Stephen A. Smith, or no, you'd be a Skip Bayless. I ain't Skip Bayless. Hell no. I just messed up my words. Hell no. Nope. I love Dame way too much, man.
But no.
Hell no.
Yeah. We'll go back and look, but. I did say you could change it, and then you said, no, I'm going to stick with the Sixers at the end. But yeah.
Man's trying to cheat me, man.
Trevin, back to...
We're going to do picks against the spread on Twitter tonight. All right?
0-0-12, I know, he changed it, but then at the end, I said, you can change it if you want. And he says...
thank you for the $5 dono, and thank you for backing me up, most importantly. Oh, my God. I love how... Bro, that's my favorite donation, backing me up and dropping the $5 dono. I appreciate it, man.
I knew you were going to try to play both.
Bro, we will review the tape. We will review... Eric, we will review the tape, bro. We will review the tape. We will... Shoot, we can review the tape right now. We still got 120 people watching, though, so I don't want to review the tape with 120 people watching. Unless everybody wants me to review this tape. This stream has been popped
too
off.
long because it's...
But we have the graphics. And it will still be too long to find. I will review the tape. I will publish the tape tonight, man.
Like I said, we did it and we talk about it then, and then we talk about it at the end of picks against the spread again, I think. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'll remember. Yeah, man. My man tried to cheat me, man. He needs all the help he can get.
No, I'm not trying to cheat. Like I comment to you. I'm fine.
If you cheat me, man. Yeah, I didn't have the best day today, but we will do it tonight and we will do it tomorrow night. And those are the last two nights for picks against the spread. If you guys don't know what we're talking about in chat, we have had a game all season long, and now we do it on our second channel where we pick games based on the spread. So like if the Blazers are favored by 10, if you pick Blazers, you win. You get a win if the Blazers win by 10 or more or whatever. If you pick against the Blazers, you get a win if the Blazers win by less than 10 or more, or you lose. So it's basically like betting against the spread. Right now, like, I think 2 days ago, me, Eric, and Chat were all tied. Chat does picks in the comment section when we count them, whoever, like, gets picked the most. Me, Chat, and Eric were all tied at, like, 190 and 175, which is insane. So this has become very, very competitive. We need a bet on the line. So tweet us bets where, like, me or Eric could do something embarrassing or something. I don't know. Like, we need a bet on the line. We still haven't come up with one. We will come up with one in the next, like, 24 hours. We need something riding on it because it'll come down to the last day at this point. You're catching back up, so you're going to be tied. So, will you do it for playoffs? No, we might do something different for playoffs.
We'll have like a separate one.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to do like I kind of wanted to do every bubble game and have like our actual bubble record, but it didn't work out. But we could definitely do like every playoff game.
We'll come up with something for playoffs. Yeah. We'll come up with something for playoffs. It could be like just a separate thing, restarting. You know what I mean? We just always said we were going to end it at the end of the regular season. So we'll figure something out for playoffs. Loser has to shave his legs. And nobody's going to see that, though. Like, I don't know. Also, I ain't trying to shave my legs. Also, I don't want Eric to shave his legs either. That doesn't bring me satisfaction.
Shave head, yeah. Nice.
No. No, man. I'm not going to do something that would affect my personal life, all right? I'll do something like that's embarrassing for me with my platform, but not something that's going to get girl, because I'm single now, bro. I'm single now. So I'm not going to do something where like girls are going to be like, what the hell? And I'll be like, man, it was for my YouTube channel. And then like that, I'm screwed at that point. If that happens, if that conversation happens off the bat, like, because I got shaved legs or shaved head. Yeah.
It's kind of weak to make a bet after we've already done stuff, though. Like, it's one thing to bet, like, on certain days and do a little something, but, yeah, it's kind of weird to bet after the fact or whatever.
You haven't helped me come up with anything, so...
Yeah, I know, but, like, that's why you come up with it before.
Well, I mean, we were just starting it off as a trial run. Next year, we will definitely have something before. This was just, like, our first year ever doing this.
Zacho did not listen to last night's podcast.
Yeah, Zacho, you did not. You were not here for last night's podcast. Last night's stream over on our second channel. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. There's definitely people watching this that aren't subscribed. There is a link in the description below. It's Blazers Uprise Live. On our stream last night, it went completely off the rails. It's a lot less serious than our post-game streams. It's a lot of banter, it's a good time. Let's just say that. But yeah, priorities, man. Come on, Zacho. Get your priorities straight, bro. End of like 2 hours. I have no idea what you're talking about, Jesus. But yeah, anyway. Blazers are in a position. Let's not let this go off the rails. Blazers are in a position where they can get the A seed if they win against Brooklyn. That's music to my ears, man. It's funny how Memphis fans were talking like, you guys don't deserve a chance. You guys wouldn't have caught us. There's no way you would have caught us. But there's a lot of Memphis fans talking about how they were the ones getting screwed over by having to play 8 games. It's like, otherwise you would have had to play 16. Imagine if they had to play 16 games, right? Imagine if this kept on like normal with them playing like this, right? Of course, things go differently and they were hot and all that type of stuff. But still, man, if you can't keep that lead over 8 games, I don't think you would have kept it over 16 or 17 or however many were left for them.
And, yeah, who knows with injuries and stuff what would have happened, but this was setting up for them to have this kind of collapse. It's just like what happened to OKC last year, where they were super hot around the All-Star break. Their schedule got super tough, and you fall to like the 6th seed. And it's going to be to that extent. Only Memphis isn't as good as OKC was last year, so they were about to completely fall off.
Yeah,
and they would have been. They probably. If they lose and the other 3 teams win, they're going to finish 11th, and that's probably pretty close to what would have happened if the season played out. They would have been probably 9th at best, 10th or 11th at worst. But yeah, they were definitely not making the playoffs with how easy both the Portland and Pelican schedule was, and with how hard their schedule was.
So. Let's dive a little deeper into playoff scenarios. Phoenix has a tiebreaker with San Antonio. Memphis has a tiebreaker with both. Yeah. So if Memphis wins, they're in the play-in.
Anybody.
Yeah, so we're a half game ahead, right?
Yep.
So, like, we've talked about the scenarios of, like, how we can get into the play-in, but in terms of the 3 teams being tied, if Memphis wins, they're in the play-in. If Memphis loses and Phoenix wins, Phoenix is in the play-in. If Memphis loses and Phoenix loses and San Antonio wins, they're in the play-in. Of course, like, so for Memphis, they need to get that let me think about it. I'm trying to think about the scenarios.
I have it all written out if you want me to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, to make the play-in for Phoenix. Let's talk about Phoenix. To make the play-in for Phoenix, they need one of Portland and Memphis to lose, and they need to win.
Yeah.
If they
Phoenix
lose, they're out.
8 seed if they win, and Portland and Memphis both lose.
Yep. So San Antonio and Phoenix have to win their last game in order to have any chance of being in the play-in. Phoenix needs one of Portland or Memphis to lose, because then that team would fall behind them to be in the play-in. If both Memphis and Portland loses and Phoenix wins, they'll be the 8th seed.
Yeah, Phoenix has to win, and then they have to have Dallas and Portland both lose, or Memphis lose.
Dallas.
You
said Dallas. How does Dallas? Why? I'm confused.
Because I think it affects their tiebreaker or something with one of the teams.
No, Memphis won the Phoenix series against Phoenix, and San Antonio has a lower win percentage. So that's the other tiebreaker, because San Antonio has 2 less games played. So the tiebreakers are set.
Okay. I'm sorry. They win over. They're playing Dallas, so they have to win over Dallas. And Portland loses or Memphis loses, they get the 9th seed. So if they win and one of those teams loses, they're the 9th. If they win and both of those teams loses, they're the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty simple for them, I guess.
Here.
If they lose, they're out. Same with San Antonio, a win over Utah. And they need all 3 teams, Portland, Memphis, and Phoenix, to all lose, and they would be the 8th seed. And then they get the 9th seed if they win over Utah and 2 of Portland, Memphis, or Phoenix lose.
Yep. So just to visualize it better. So, yeah, San Antonio needs 2 of Memphis, Portland, and Phoenix to lose, and they need to win. Which is kind of the same way as...
do you want to read what Trevin's saying in chat right now?
Let's see. Sure. What's Trevin saying? He said Eric. That's all I see.
Right above that. Literally the one right above it.
Eric said you can change, and Tori said, no, I'm rolling with the Sixers. Yeah, and then after that.
No, that was the end of it.
That wasn't the end of it.
That was after.
I swear that wasn't the end of it.
No, that was after we talked about switching.
Well, see, I would have picked the 76ers if you thought I could switch it, but you know, you can have it. Go ahead. But you said also we shouldn't place the best bet on it now, so I don't even care. But anyway. So as far as the standings go, I'll have to go back and look at it myself. I don't even Trevin the detective is on it.
Then you said, "All right, I'll go with the Suns," and then you said you'd be mad if the Sixers win. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I told you, man. Nobody believes me, man. I told you. It was after that.
Then you switched it back.
No. Conversation for after the stream.
Yeah.
Conversation for after the stream. Yeah, so this is what the standings look like. So yeah, San Antonio needs 2 of Phoenix, Portland, and Memphis to make the play-in. If all 3 of the teams above them lose and San Antonio wins, then they get the 8th seed. So any of these teams can be the 8th seed. You can have any combination. Yeah, I'm not even sure Portland can get the 9th seed unless they can get the 9th seed, but it'd be very unlikely for Portland to be 9th. They're either probably going to be 10th or outside looking in, because to get 9th, Portland would have to lose. Well, to get 8th, Portland wins, and they're 8th. If Portland loses, it's very unlikely for them to be 8th, because they'd need the other 3 teams to lose. So, but to be 9th, Portland would have to lose and have only one of Memphis, Phoenix, and San Antonio win. If 2 of these 3 teams wins, Portland would be 10th or lower. If none of these 3 teams wins, Portland would be 8th. So the only scenario Portland's 9th is if they lose and one of these 3 teams win. So it's unlikely they end up 9th. I think it's more likely they end up either on the outside looking in or 8th. Would you agree with that, just based on looking at it like that?
Yeah, it's either 8th or nothing.
Yeah, so, which I'll take that. I'll take that. Win a game and we're 8th, man. We're back in the 8th seed. We're back in playoff position. So don't choke against Brooklyn. If they choke, just don't choke. We will know going into that Brooklyn game, like, oh, if we lose, we're out. If we win, we're in. Or if we lose, we're in the 9th seed. You know what I mean? Like, we'll know going into that Brooklyn game. I just expect at least 2 of those 3 teams to win, so it to be a scenario where we have to win to make the play-in. If one of those 3 teams wins or none of those 3 teams wins, then it'll be a scenario where we are automatically in the play-in. Because all 3 of those games are before us. So that is what we're looking at. I will tweet it out so you guys can like keep track of it and remember it, and it might be easier to understand. Hopefully we do explain the standings well. We've tried to explain kind of the race for this playoff spot as clearly as possible. So hopefully we've done that. Yeah. I don't know saying Tori was right, LOL. We will have to look at that, man. We will have to look at that. That has been some classic Blazers Uprise drama. I don't even know.
Yeah, it is fairly likely that the Suns could go 8-0 and still not make the play-in. That's why all those people saying, "Oh, you said the Suns didn't have a chance." That's why. Look at it. They went 8-0. Memphis will have gone 1-7 or 2-6, depending on what they do in their last game, and they still might not make the playoffs. So, like
Phoenix, if they lost one of their first 7 games, they would be eliminated right now.
Yeah.
So they've had to go 7-0.
I mean, you're lying. Like, any one of you is lying if you thought the Suns were going to go 8-0 in this bubble and potentially make the 8th seed in the playoffs. Like, not one person would have ever thought about that. So.
Which is what they're going to have to do. Yep. So if the Suns somehow make the play-in against us, there is a YouTube channel that does like post-game shows and whatnot. I might reach out to them and see if I could like get them on like a Blazers Uprise live stream. Some Phoenix Suns fans that actually have like pretty solid coverage. I don't know if you've seen it. Trevin showed me their channel, so I don't know. That'd be cool. Next season, I do want to try and do more like collaborative stuff. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Just to get different voices in like that know other teams and that type of stuff.
And just to answer Near 012's question, since he's donated a lot, if everyone loses, the standings would be exactly how they are now.
Yep.
So the Blazers would get the 8th, Memphis would be the 9th, and we would only have to beat them once out of twice to make the playoffs.
Yep. Suns fans so salty. I bet, dude. That's what I wanted to see on Twitter. We went live, so I'm not like looking on Twitter like that, but I wanted to see Suns fans' reaction to this game. Because that has to suck for them. The thing is, we've been scoreboard watching them, and they keep winning, so it sucks for us. But imagine that, man. Imagine that. I was imagining them watching this game, watching Dame go off. Because they were hardcore rooting for Dallas. Rooting for Dallas. And this game was on TNT, so they were definitely watching. It wasn't like they needed a League Pass account or something. The Suns' Twitter account has been like rooting for other teams, so I'm gonna pull them up right now. I just want to see what they've been tweeting. I will log off in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, by the way.
EW0 says, I saw a lot of the refs rig this game for Dame. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying. Like,
you can't run into shooters when they're shooting. You can't run into the shooters when they're shooting. They kept doing that. They kept having a hand on a shooter. They kept running underneath a shooter. You can't do that.
Yeah, Malcolm says, so what they do is they say, like, Mavs fan or whatever on their Twitter bio, and then they change it to depressed Mavs fan after they lost.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you got the Suns, quote, tweeting the Mavericks. Thank you for making me cry myself to sleep tonight. That's funny. Yeah. As the Sacramento Kings once said, in Spain, but without the S after that Mavericks game. That's funny. I love how NBA Twitter accounts tweet, man. Just, and the Blazers are like, fun to follow too, so. Yeah, anyway, your tweet kind of blew up a bit on Skip Bayless and Dame Lillard. I saw that blowing up. I might reach 100. You ever had a tweet with 100 likes before?
Yeah.
Have you? Oh yeah, it just did nothing to you. I forgot. Yeah, we've turned Eric into a Twitter pro. I remember like meeting Eric and being like, "Bro, why aren't you on Twitter? You should be on Twitter, man. You should be on Twitter." For like a year and a half, I told Eric to get on Twitter, and it just took us like having the YouTube channel in order to get Eric on Twitter. And now look at him. He's posting just absolute flames constantly, and I have somebody to back me up, and it's like I'll see somebody post something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna argue this, and I see Eric arguing it like kind of exactly how I would, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to say shit. So the deep three made me feel the most natural high of my life. Yeah, that was insane, man. That was insane.
It was awesome, but it's not higher than Dame's 2 game winners, or like series winners.
Yeah, man, like, this is how I was watching the game down the stretch. Dame would hit an insane bucket, and we'd go up, and I'd be like, let's go, Dame. And then I'd get mad, like, please just get a goddamn stop. Like, I was very vocal watching this game, let's just say that. There's a reason when the stream started, my face is probably a lot redder than it is now. There's a reason my face was kind of matching Eric's shirt. I was very, very into this game. And I'm a guy who yells at the TV a bit, tries to yell at Terry Stotts through the TV. It doesn't work. I'm one of those guys.
My little 3-year-old was in there, like, in my room screaming defense with me at the end, and
that's cute.
Cheering for CJ to make those free throws. It was really cool.
She's the most into it out of all of your...
Yeah, she just likes cheering, like being a...
Yeah.
Like,
hey, but that's a good start. That's a good start. Yep. So,
so
was she yelling, effing switch? Or stop effing switching?
No. I wouldn't be surprised if she did do that.
Because I assume you probably yelled that exact like phrase, a little more vulgar. I assume you probably yelled that at some point during the game, because there was about 10 times where I was sitting on the couch and then they switched before they even got scored on, where I jumped up and stop switching, score, like, bro.
Yeah. So Chiefin says that Dallas fans were complaining that Gary Trent grabbed Porzingis' arm on that. He did not.
God.
Like, Porzingis initiated the contact just like he did with the Dame hook, but Dame was kind of in a bad position, so I understand why that call wasn't overturned. And the challenge god had a bad challenge tonight.
Yeah, that was the worst challenge I've ever seen from Stotts. Which, okay, you guys want some Stotts love? He might be the best coach in the league at challenging. Okay, there's some Stotts love for you guys. But that was a bad challenge. I was disappointed in that challenge. I can't. Yeah. It was getting down the stretch. I just would have rather him maybe saved it for like a Nurkic one, because Nurkic had 5 fouls. I think at that point in the game, I think he fouled out right after. Where like, okay, Nurkic could have a bang bang call, and that would be a much more important play to like get overturned to keep Nurkic in the game, compared to like just that play. I knew they weren't going to overturn it. Like, there's not going to be anything conclusive there. There's 2 guys getting tangled up. Like, they're just going to stick with whatever they called when you just have 2 guys getting tangled up with each other. So. Yeah, but I mean, like, Dame's reaction, I don't really even blame Stotts because like Dame was like, challenge it. It's like, you're gonna listen to your leader, you know what I mean? So it's kind of more on Dame. Like, come on, man, you gotta know what happened there. I don't know. It definitely. Nurkic like hugged him, and then like Porzingis like hooked his arm after Dame kind of hugged him. So I thought that's kind of.
Near 012 said he pulled an Eric and punched his dresser, but he didn't dent it. Yeah. He didn't punch it hard enough. You gotta either break your hand or break the dresser.
Yeah, come on, man. You gotta like.
Okay. It's a regular season game technically. So, but if this is a playoff game, I expect you to break. Yeah,
I'd be disappointed for sure. So, Destrom, I'm sorry about that. That sounds like a personal problem.
That would fit in well with our stream last night.
What's up, ankle biter? Nurk struggled. Yeah, we haven't really talked about Nurk. I guess we could finish off the stream with that. He just needs to go to the rim strong. He's doing too many flip shots, which, like, when he just goes strong and finishes strong, he's really good. But then when he does all this flip, like, finger roll type stuff around the rim, he doesn't have any accuracy with that. So it's kind of disappointing seeing Nurkic kind of regress from, like, what he was doing at the start of the bubble. To just kind of like this finesse type stuff now. But also it's like they didn't really use him as a passer this game, which was surprising.
Yeah, he really does need to take it to the hole harder.
God.
But something was wrong with Nurk tonight. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the family situation. I hope everything's okay there. But he seemed really like down and mopey during this game. Like he wasn't super energetic, and like everything was like a step slow, and he just seemed to lack focus. So I hope everything's okay, and I hope it was just a one game thing where maybe he wasn't feeling well or
Yeah,
something.
I mean,
But
Nurkic
like,
has like games like that where he just seems like a bit uninterested, you know. And honestly, like I feel like a lot of bigs across the league have that. I don't know what it is.
yeah,
So
I mean, Hassan's like that some
yeah.
games too. But,
So anyway, I don't know. I mean, we need Nurkic. We need Nurkic down the stretch. That's the thing. Is like CJ shot bad and Nurkic shot bad, and we still had 134 points. Like that's
Yeah.
Damian Lillard for you. I'd love for Damian Lillard to have 60 with like Nurkic and CJ playing well too, because that's the thing. Is like we scored a ton, and I still feel like there's a lot of shots that we should have made at the same time. Let me look at the team stats. I mean, we only shot. I mean, we shot 47%. We shot 39.5% from three. So like we shot well. It's just a fast-paced game, though. We had 17 more field goal attempts than Dallas because we had 12 more offensive rebounds. They did shoot 4 more free throws, but we had not 12 more. It was 12-5. We had 7 more offensive rebounds than Dallas. We also didn't really turn the ball over. We only had 8 turnovers. They had 17. So that's the one thing I thought we did a good job of was like forcing turnovers today. That's like the one part of our defense. Like, and that was mostly Gary Trent Jr. Carmelo had a couple of steals. Like we forced some turnovers. They shot 52%, made 23 shooting 46% from three. You know what I mean? Like there's so much room for improvement.
A lot of games that way,
Yeah, there's so much room for improvement there. Where it's like we still won when we let Dallas hit 23s at 46% and they shot 52% from the field, and they also shot 33 free throws and made 27 of them, and we still won that game. Like you could say we're lucky, but it's just Dame. You know, Dame being able to just single-handedly basically outscore them when they're shooting that well. That's insane.
And that's once again why I get frustrated with result-based opinions versus like actually breaking down what happened in this game. Because like if you just look at this, I had this before the game. You saw it too. The people are like, "We have the best offense in the bubble. There's no way you can criticize that Stotts for his offense when he's the number one." You know, like, well, first of all, like we're one of the few teams who has basically not been able to rest players or do anything in all the games. So of course, like we're playing the best players. The teams with the best offenses in the NBA haven't really taken a lot of these games seriously and haven't needed to score. But that's another point. Yeah. And then, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you have guys like Dame. That's the ultimate game changer. You can't really go wrong just letting him take over games. But you can always improve and get better shots. And luckily he made some of those threes. But if one of those threes doesn't go down, I mean, we lose this game. And then we're talking about like what happened to the offense in the second half, because we both at the start of the second and fourth quarters, we went I think in this game we went 7 minutes in the fourth quarter without a field goal. And we had for several minutes only 2 points, and one of those was on a technical free throw. And then in the third quarter, we went, I think, almost 3 minutes without scoring at the beginning of that quarter as well. Yeah. And some of that's now not knowing that CJ was hurt during that time. But, like, these are problems. We can't have – if we're going to contend with, or, like, at least make it interesting in a series with the Lakers, we can't have these scoring droughts, and we can't rely on Dame to just get blazing fire every game. And so yeah, it's frustrating.
Yep. Anyway, we will be live tomorrow night on Blazers Uprise Live. Let me comment in the comment section with that channel to make it easy for those of you who aren't subscribed to subscribe for it. You just have to click on the channel icon. So I'll just go on my phone and comment. There you can catch we call it Blazers Uprise Live. We used to call it a podcast. Now we just call it Blazers Uprise Live. We do picks against the spread, and we do we cover the rest of the NBA, and we preview games, and we do that type of stuff over there. So it's just more content like this, more streaming content. Let me post this. There you go. Commented in the comment section. How do we watch the games with you guys? Oh yeah, watch party last game. Eric, you want to do it?
Sure.
because I know we said we'd do that. We'll do a watch party on the last game. I will have information on how you can get in. Anybody that had a ticket to the first one, which we screwed up, I will give you a link for this one. You can also watch our watch party. We'll be watching and streaming the game live. Last game of the regular season. It makes sense to do the last game of the regular season. I'll make sure I have the setup good to go.
Just to clarify, we can't actually show the game, so you're just going to be watching us watching the game and breaking down what we see.
Hopefully you can link up your game with ours. You might have to pause your game, if you're watching on cable or something. You might either have to pause your game on your TV for 10 seconds to match it up with ours, or you might have to pause our stream to match it up with your game. I don't know, it's up to you guys to sync it up, because I would love it for all of us to be synced up, or us to be able to actually display the game where you guys could watch it and we could talk over it, but we can't do that because of copyright reasons. So it'll be like this. It'll be like this, but we'll be watching the game and reacting to the game live with you guys. So if you want information on that, I will tweet something out about it. Make sure you follow me at ToryJonesYT. Make sure you follow Eric at HoopsJock. I'll have more information on that if you guys want to watch the game with us.
Dionysus says you get to see Eric's cool bed if you join. I don't know if I'll be watching in my bed this time. It might be down on my couch, but yeah.
Yep. The easiest way for you to get access to that watch party stream, because we kind of give out tickets, is to hit the join button down below this video and become an all-star level member. It's $4.99 a month. There's some other perks on that, which I will kind of go into that more once we get there, after the season is over, some screensaver type stuff that I've started working on. So there's some other perks, but you get access to that watch party if you become an all-star level member or more. So to do that, you just hit that join button down below this video and take it from there. So that's good, man. Good to hear, man. It's a good job, Dionysus.
Chief, and I usually don't watch the games laying down, but for the watch party, I needed to watch in a place where I wouldn't be disturbed by the 4 other members of my family here. So I had to lock the door to my room and do it in there. But yeah.
And I'll have a good setup in the other room, and I'll make sure it's set up. My computer had a glitch or something where it wouldn't display on a monitor. Now it's displaying on a monitor again, so I don't know what happened, but that shouldn't happen again. And I will make sure it's set up hours before the game. I was just super busy when I tried to do it last time. So anyway, thank you CBACC for the compliment, man. Thank you guys for watching. Feels weird logging off with 106 concurrent viewers. This stream has absolutely popped off. This is the best post-game stream we've had maybe all season long. Kevin Reese figured it out. Kevin, because I know Kevin was struggling with it, man. Appreciate it, Kevin.
Wait, did Kevin ever join Discord, or is it still
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because Kevin was trying to become a channel member and it was giving him trouble. So I'm glad it worked out for you, man. Welcome to the Uprise Army. That's what I'm gonna call my channel members. It's kind of corny, but whatever. Uprise Army. Welcome to the Uprise Army. God, that's such a cliche YouTuber thing. Anyway, yeah, this stream has been a lot of fun. This game was a lot of fun. After we won, it was a lot of fun. It was very stressful all game long. Very fun stream, man. Very fun stream. Maybe my favorite stream of the season. Link me on my email, Tori. I will. I got you. And if that... Oh, yeah, I got your email. Yeah, I will link you on the email. Welcome Near 012 as well. You got to become an all-star level member to... you know what? You donated $25 during the stream, so I'll give you a link as well. I'll give you a link as well. I was
gonna say,
yeah, he killed it. He killed it with the donations today, so I got you, bro. If you have any questions about it,
that pick or the Suns.
You can buy merch. We have merch. I will post it in the comment section. The link to our merch. Here we go. If you buy merch, you get a ticket as well. I'll send it to the email that you put in when you buy your merch. Or you can donate $5, $6. I think I said $6. Just DM me on Twitter if you want a ticket and want to watch our watch party on the 11th, because we will be streaming live during the game. You get to see us in our natural habitat watching a Blazer game. So, what's up, Toilet Clogger?
And if we have to win and it's a close game, I'm gonna be so. I don't know if annoyed or frustrated or mad or like throwing stuff, so it might get a little crazy.
I'm not holding back, man. Hashtag Uprise Army. So yeah, if you see people's names in green, that's because they are a channel member as well. And you do have custom emojis. The more members I get, the more emojis I can make. So I have a really funny emoji coming up for you guys soon. But right now we only have 4. Those 4. But I will add more soon. I'll have fun with that. Eric sent me one that's absolutely perfect. Like the most perfect emoji. You guys have to wait and see. Next post-game stream, I will have that in, bro. Eric, you gotta remind me. You gotta remind me tomorrow. If I don't make it tonight, you gotta remind me tomorrow, man. Because I got a bunch of stuff I gotta do, but I have to do that. I have to put that emoji in there. You guys will see, and you guys will love it.
Toilet Clogger and Chris Jesus have a good one. A droopy nose bug emoji, too. Would be
droopy
good.
Nose bug. Just make them based off inside jokes. I need to. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was a fun win. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to us already on both of our channels. We would greatly appreciate it. We love the support that we've been getting lately with basketball being back. This is a lot of fun after that long layoff. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Tory Jones YT and Hoops Jock for Eric. Chris, that is not going to happen. That is not allowed.
Just do stairs and everyone will know.
And Jamal Murray's face at the bottom of it. Or Jamal Murray's face on the stairs. Oh my goodness.
Destrom, that's the worst idea you've ever had, and you've had some bad ideas. That is fine. But
no,
you
gotta know. You gotta know.
You have to know the inside jokes, otherwise it's not.
The diehard Uprise fans know the inside jokes. Get Dame streaming. I'd love to get Dame on the channel. He probably wouldn't be possible. But next year I will try. Next season I will try and have like more guests and that type of stuff. This year was kind of just feeling things out and getting used to doing what we're doing. Now I have a website being built, which a lot of you guys watching this probably don't know, but I will have like a Blazers Edge type of website go live in late September where we will have written content. I already got people set to write for it. I'll write for it. Eric will write for it. And we're going to try and like kind of compete with like, hopefully one day compete with Blazers Edge. They're super big, so it's going to be hard to like get to that level, obviously. But we do want to get into like the written content type of scene and put out written content for you guys and have like a legitimate site, like a really nice site. So the merch link that I gave, that's just a bare bones site. We will have a legitimate site at some point in late September, right in time for the draft and the off season. We'll do like written content surrounding all that and previewing the off season, and maybe talking about the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. You know, if they make it that far, because the playoffs will still be going on. I think it will be the Western Conference Finals or the Finals in late September. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? If the Blazers fix their issues, they can make a run. Their offense is good enough. So, Eric, I gave you the UPS code. It wasn't me. It was UPS, man.
No, I know, but...
Or USPS.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I will send you more merch. I just don't know what happened there.
I don't have the contact to the person who does that for you to contact them and say I never got it or whatever. But I'm going in the U.S. Postal Service tomorrow to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. That sucks that it happened. I can always just send you another one. Just doesn't really make sense why that happened. Near Zero, I wanted to get that out tomorrow actually, but yeah, I will dabble in that when I get the chance. Trust me, that's something I want to do. Just for fun, because I know you guys would get a kick out of it, and I don't think I'd be terrible at it. So, you heard all the dude. There's been like so many radio guys that have like done tracks that are like a parody of stuff. That'd be fun to do. You guys already know Chad Doing would already get that diss track. Man, I feel weird talking about that to 100 people, talking about releasing a rap track. But yeah, I have to, because I said if somebody donated $100, I'd release a rap song. So first P, last JL, shout out to you, man, wherever you've been for the last few months.
Oh man, I miss him.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Maybe he switched his name and he's still here and he's just laughing. Max Kellerman's rap goes off. Yeah, Max Kellerman had a legit one. So anyway.
Tomorrow night, 9:45, Kevin.
Tomorrow night, 9:45. Catch us over on Blazers Uprise Live on our second channel. And then, of course, on Thursday, we will have the post game. We'll have the watch party and we'll have the post game show after that, which of course is just going to be here and everybody's invited. We will have that for the Brooklyn Nets game, and that's what we got on deck.
Real quick, we should probably say that if YouTube is still glitching out, it might not be possible to do the watch party.
It will be.
But what happened last time is the unlisted.
It wasn't because we were doing a watch party.
No, but it was because it was unlisted. It created a second.
No,
link.
I think that was just the glitch that I've been working through. I don't think it was because it was unlisted. So I think that's just the glitch I was working through. Because if I go to manage and create stream, then there will be 2 links. So like you just got to edit the one before. So I think it should be fine. I can test it tonight. I'll test it tonight. I'll make sure I'll look into it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This stream has been amazing. I can't wait to watch that. I want to watch the full highlights just to hear the TNT commentary over what happened, since I'm in Vancouver, Portland area, so I only got the local broadcast. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in hearing the TNT call for what Dame just did. So I'm gonna go watch that and go work a little bit, and then I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. So
what's up, 17 snowstorm?
A little bit late, man. 17 snowstorm. But yeah, so I will catch you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace out.